have some technical issues, so I'm back now. Just like saying, I just wanna play again some randoms. Hopefully they'll bring me some motivation to continue playing. Like, it's hard to me to say, because as yesterday you saw, I lost most of matches because of stupid action of my teammates, but it was playing for fun, not only for victory, just for fun, for myself, bring me some new emotions. Anyway, enough of morale, but we'll be working together. We'll be working together. Alright, so what this map is, Ripton. No, Destin. So I'm thinking we can go, I wanna go here. Just wanna see what will be next. Okay, we're flying to Backcliff. I'll follow you, guy. And we should jump. Yeah. Backcliff. Okay, let's jump. No people, just only us. So mostly people, I guess, goes there, like something here. I'm not sure, just my prediction. Yeah, funny guy. Oh no, I was wrong. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys. Wow. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, people, what you did. Good news, I have weapons. Tommy and Dragunov. Okay. Bloody Mary will be here. Alright. Need some security. Oh really? Always like break whip. Always like to break the door. And let's go with UMP. UMP has lots of modes. Okay. Let's go. Okay, we're coming. I would like to play right now billiard. Instead of having some... Oh! Whoa, 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 whoa! It was quick and easy. Wiped. Wiped, wiped, wiped. I'll put this at the front. Quick and easy. My main task is just reach level 80. Just wanna play for level 80. That's my main task. Oh my god, this update will be for 8.5 hours. Like, this is so much. Too bad. Too bad. Oh, fine match. Match. Too bad I can't find them.
We all want to jump too.
I'm following number 2. So what my main task? Mission list. So I should survive 60 minutes, then 120 minutes, destroy 10 vehicles, total kill assist 7, and survive 356 minutes. And more should survive in just normal ranked arcade matches. Okay. Where everybody following number 1. It's perfect. Okay. I think there will be lots of people here now. I already see one guy. Nobody's here. Let's jump here.
Anybody else with us?
No, nobody's here. Nobody. And I didn't see it. Wonder what level he is. 52. So he's playing a bit later than me, I assume. For me this game just brings fun. I'm tired of victories. Okay. Oh, what a nice weapon. Okay. Barrel. Six X. And then we'll change this one. This one I don't need. This one as well. Oh, now it's like mini sniper, assaulter, recon guy. I like M16, but I usually play when no other weapons is available. Like it's some awful weapons is available, like wars, something like Uzi or whenever it was available. This one I like, it's my favorite stuff. What's called jammer pack. So it's just do not allow zone to kill me, to get my life. Silent. Maybe I should go.
Whole lot of 12 gauge with slugs over here. Somebody wants it.
What kind of slugs he's speaking about? Like bandages and first aid? I don't understand what he means. Slugs. I'm just joking.
I heard silence 300, careful.
I'm just click the random button. You know, wow, too much weapons I have. Too much ammos. Okay. Wow. Ammos, I don't need ammos. I finally said it. So, if I'll go like this and try jump, never find the easy way. So he was pointing to something, but I didn't understand what he means. Slugs. he already picked. Healing up, like of what? Okay. Oh. I don't care. I'm just playing for fun. Oh, he's fucking red. Okay, he's red. Okay. This type of players, I never like it. You killed him? Big blazer. Yeah, big blazer. Something like cheater. Red. Let's heal up. Oh boy, disconnected. I have too much. Wow, 300. Yeah, come on. Come on, boy. Yeah, I'm coming. Really? Where? Point me, guys. Don't forget to take me out. Alright. He's healing. We call the other guy. Where we heading? Go here. To assembly. Plant. No. Perfect. His horn. Nobody here. Alright. Alright, alright. Oh yes, I already have. I don't need mini energy drink. Why I should take this? Energy, have enough. I'm 16, don't need. Cheeky sold. This one, go. That was concert. Concert hallway. Located now. Nothing here. 9 AM. Only 12 couch. Oh, 12. I like him for more. They have Scar. No way. Camera shake control. Too much ammos. Consumables I need. Painkiller. Let's say I have 8x. Oh shit, delete. Okay. Here heard some sounds, some shooting sounds. Nobody there, I guess. So he tried, don't try to get the car. Maybe they're thinking to leave me alone. Flooded here. Looks like tsunami was there. Oh, car there. Where's the people? People. I miss them. Okay. Oh, one more car. So somebody's there. Real. Oh my god, it's loud. It's loud. Loud, loud, loud. Uh-oh. Oh. Somebody tried to kill us. Hit the car. Ouch. Harsh. No, I didn't see. I don't think they can come from there. Wow, big facility. Big facility. Looks like engines or, don't know, something for cockpit maybe, or just for plane. Yes. Okay, I will wait here. Zone shrinking. Let's take energy drink. I need some energy. I'm hearing something. Oh shit! Come on! They didn't cover it. Zero trust. Okay. Looking for this guy. He only have 11 shotgun ammos. Okay, what about mission? Oh, I did like 7 minutes. Wondering. Let's go on. Nope. And survivor mask. Pathworker. Later glasses. Okay, this. Come on, guy, show me some action. I wonder what they said about me. Boom. I wanna see death cam. So this guy, he came here. It's just luck. Like he's level 23. Of course he has a higher chance of luck. Me there and then 11. He just killed me. Oh yes. Okay. Let's see what's called eSport. PUBG. I wanna see eSport. Today's day 3. Masters Invitational. I wanna see this. 25 seconds, don't wanna see. Navy is playing in PUBG as well. Like I know them from CAS too. eSport. Oh, Navi guy. So this was 10 days ago. Okay. When was ended? I wanna see the date. This is 2 weeks ago. Okay. I need English. Ten days ago, wow. So mostly it's like Asians here. Asians, like Chinese, Japanese, Koreans. Navy it's only ours. Ukrainians, I see. No Russians at all. Okie Oh yeah, I know you. I'll spot you. This is not UFC, why are you staying like this? Shrimp. I don't know about these teams, only know Navy. Salute. Genov. Noob. Good humiliation. Oh, that's Russian. Russian, I guess? Oh yeah, they only went into... Oh my god. Oh my god, let's start playing, guys. Oh my god, don't listen to this. Let's see. Okay, let's see the game. Let's see the game. Come on. Don't wanna wait. Oh, it was December 19th. December 21st. Navy 4M. Top 8 Koreans, Thailand, China, Koreans, Thailand. The third one I don't know. Yeah. I agree with her. You never know what can happen. Teammates can win, teammates can screw up. So I see BGP is doing good. I wish I will know them before. Best players, 20 kills. END, gold, 119, Heather. Kill leader, top 4. Mm-hmm. $4,000. Mm-hmm. XMPL. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Let's see this the juice. Wow. Oh, $5,000 price. It's only five grand. Like that's not so much. Counter-Strike players always take like millions of dollars. They can take like 1.5 million dollars price. This one's only 5,000. Like what's going on? The only thing they should do is just show their skills. That's all about this tournaments. Communication, just masterly hide it and kill it. Sneak in and get most explosive headshots. Mm-hmm. Will be insane day. It was. Okay, buckle up. He's British. Sounds British. Steven Peters and Matt Oates. I wonder who will win. I think somebody from China or Korea can take the number one. Like I know for like since I'm playing PUBG, I would say Asians is number one in this game. Like they're really fast playing. Like with 4, 3, 2 fingers. If speaking about personal computer, they can literally teach you how to use the tricks. How much it will be? So match winner 1000, daily 5000, kill price 100. Okay. Take a rondo.
Things out on Miramar here at Matrim, so we didn't see much Miramar until the very tail end of yesterday, where finally it kind of reared its head.
Yeah, I was talking to some of the players, and I asked about 3 different teams kind of why everybody was having such an aversion to Miramar on day 1, and it does come down to the foot pushes. Since the trenches and the hillsides are set up that way, they were a bit hesitant coming in TPP right off the get-go on Miramar. They wanted to come in a bit more comfortable, but now that's kind of opened up the doors, and the teams are a lot more, I guess, comfortable playing in that environment.
And one thing's for sure, South Korea looks comfortable in TPP, Toffees, because T1 and Freaks, I mean, T1 with that 28-point game to round out yesterday was insane.
Yep, it is. And I think seeing E-Arena also having this big sort of glow up after how they struggled a little bit in Thailand has also been pretty exciting.
Of course, as we take a look at 2 of our big names here in DN Freaks and T1, they're so strong, they've broken the system. There's no wins, there's no kills, but we know that they've been able to put them up plenty here, Matrim.
Infinite power. It's uncalculable. The numbers are just too high. It's over 9,000, one could say.
Definitely. Very impressive stuff by them, Toffees.
I mean, so I just want to go back to this map pick thing because I kind of hope it stays, right? Like, this idea that Miramar hasn't been picked, but if you go parse all the numbers, Miramar is one of those maps where, like, if you're drafting and you go, oh, this is so-and-so's best map or so-and-so's worst. Like, if Twisted Minds got to first place...
ChatGPT can now create website wireframes.
Oh
With our
God,
new custom GPT, we guide you through the...
I expect double Miramar picks because the teams would know they're the worst at this.
Check in with Paper.
Place. That means they choose Tango. So let's just get into it. We're ready to go. The last day here at the PPMI. Let's get it on.
Oh, looks flashy.
And away we go. It is time to get everything set up for game number 1 of day 3. It's all on the line. Toffees here with me, taking you through all of the action. And we are kicking it off on the map that has been getting so much attention today. Oh,
It's gonna be a big day. This is the last 5 games for 15-game series, $50,000 for first, and it's even bigger than that. You can watch the perspective of every single pro who's out there. You can go over and watch their streams, and as the door to Tago opens, it opens the door for you to see everything from all of your favorite streamers, their perspectives. We even saw some gems, things we won't repeat, come out from some of those streams yesterday. So I encourage you to pop open that second monitor, but also stay here because we're going to be calling all the action. We're following your Western teams as well as the teams that are in the race. And to me, it has been an incredibly fun event in terms of showcasing the different pacing style that we're going to get, as this is the first Matchroom big championship. We are crowning the first international TPP champion since 2018, and that's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, we've had some show matches, a couple of things here and there, but nothing on this scale. And I love the way that this has been set up, where we're getting like prize pools per match, overall day winner, and then like a grand total winner. And so there's just every single kill matters. It's got its own money that's going to be backing it, and it's really invigorated a lot of these squads to realize if they're in a bad spot, hey, at least maybe I can try to find like an extra $300-400 by just ruining this other squad's day before I go out.
Yeah, I think it's going to drive players to play it a little bit differently, right? And this idea that, oh man, we're at the bottom of the board. If you're Petrichor, it's not, you don't have to mail it in, right? Under normal circumstances, Petrichor would be like, well, guys, let's just die quick and move on, right? But that's not the case, because if they have a day of their life, they'll get a little extra cash, but more importantly, they'll win $5,000 for having the best day ever, right? Plus kills, money for kills. So I do think this motivates a lot of players to get out there and get active early as Hakatori pulls out the bolt action, says it's worth a couple of shots over towards AL. But, you know, actually, it's worth a charge.
I mean, at least try to scare them out, see if you can get some more territory control on this, as this has been a point that we've been playing from quite a while, and this is a very hefty commitment to go after it at this point. I mean, anyone's legend can be a bit of a problem, but it looks like they're also kind of jockeying around on different positions on the map. This is not going to be inside the new circle. Circle has gone for a much more mid-eastern lean, so it means that Falcon's going to be around airport in a good spot. 4 Angry Men, Twisted, Jinji, all feeling pretty good right at the start of today.
Falcon's really comfortable with a Middle Eastern lean as the shift does head in that direction. I like what you said about 4 Angry Men, but also Twisted Minds. This for me is the big one. With third place looming large, they need to make some moves here. Now, they're in a unique situation because Maladoct is subbing in right now as Perfectix couldn't get here for this event. Example has been the hard carry. When we watched them at PGC, it was a multi-person contribution at times. It has been all year, and it feels like right now, Example has been the overall damage leader in the entire lobby and is sort of carrying their surge up that leaderboard. It's not over. I just think we need to see Maladoc sort of fall into that system a little bit better today.
Well, I mean, they're still doing so good right now. It's, yeah, a bit of a drop-off between them and Freaks, but easily surmountable for them. The drop-off down to E-Arena is where things get a bit more dicey. That 17-point line where we've got E-Arena, 17, and JDG, but we also did see 17, JDG, and E-Arena all have big pop-off games, so if there's any faltering at the top, there's still big opportunities. Clory's going to get pretty close to So-Said.
He's got a Panzerfaust. He's watching him, man. He's going to try to put that through this doorway, potentially. Meanwhile, Chewy goes ahead and gets that wipe on Shen elsewhere, so it kind of spread out, but this Clory's attack has been building for a minute.
This is the way Expendables like to do it. Exploit early picks. Oh, the wall eats most of it. Some damage does come out. So-Said down to 6. Delwyn on the other side of this one, waiting for his moment. Gonna go for some shots between them. Delwyn getting the better side of it, and So-Said finally falls.
They double Panzer pushed that poor man. Both missed, but it didn't matter. There was enough going around to stop them. The rest of Na'Vi is going to come in now. Delwyn playing a little bit of a defense game. Both the Panzerfausts have been used, and it looks like because of the flush, Na'Vi might decide it's just not worth it.
They've got to go because all the Expendables are after this. Remember that Na'Vi went a bit stretched to go after anyone's legend right at the start of the game, so that's going to leave them more vulnerable as far as loot situation goes. The Expendables are making a path to the circle right next to Na'Vi. So the regroup nowhere near done, so Delwyn should be able to just hop in. Reinforcements are here. Is that going to be all they want? And I think it might be.
Okay, what these guys
I do believe that we have Mark.
Yeah, there you go. As we go through
standby.
transitions, Mark's got to get in here. Come on.
So let's tag in Mark as he's got some extra information for us, and let's get an idea on what's going on in the stadium so far today. Mark, are you here with us yet?
It's slow, and then
we'll give him a second. We know, looking at the setup for the circle right now, external teams that are going to be on the move is going to be T1 just now getting into the circle. The Freaks are going to be just to the north of them. Looks like they might be lying a little bit more onto the shipyard bridge, where Begapaw's also making a rotate. Arena is way over into the west on the island itself, so they've got to rotate. JDG, of course, the Expendables and anyone's legend that we just saw a second ago. FW and Furia, all still outer lays on this one, as JDG is now starting to cross the bridge right down below them to the south, but that's going to be kind of close to the Expendables.
This is the posturing phase. The circle is nice and easy, as you brought up earlier. It's in a centralized location, lots of transition spots. When we saw Tego on other days, there was a lot of tough movement.
Team very close to Twisted on this. This is just a grouping around center right now, so Couple of jockeying points for position, but I don't think that 17 is going to overstep this one too much, so it's just going to be a banding between these two squads to keep a little bit of control. So let's go ahead, bring Mark back in here and get an insight on what's going on.
Hey guys, hopefully you can hear me now. I had to run back to my desk. Look, that's actually playing into what we were talking to with Na'Vi before the games. The whole objective now for Na'Vi today is going to go aggressive. They really want to climb this leaderboard. They're going to try and get as many kills and bag as much money as they can. On the other side, though, we've got teams like Furia. They want to try and get the lessons learned, though, from the last 2 days. And again, it's about keeping bodies alive for them. So for them, it's about keeping these bodies up. The fight's about to kick off, though. I'll throw it back to you guys.
Jinji making a dedicated push right on the T1. Our present leaders, one player already down in reigning, been flushed. Jinji trying to get a climb on the leaderboard, down in 14th right now, but there is a chance for a big climb. It is dicey all the way up into Falcon's position in 9. T1 wanting to play a bit safe at the start. They've just got to get out of Dodge as fast as possible.
Got to go. Gen G, our previous international winners back in 2018. Different roster, same brand. Not playing as well as I hoped that they would during the reemergence of TPP, but I think give them a little bit of time. They spent a lot of this year rebuilding for PGC with that hopes of sort of coming out here and proving GPT is what they deserve to have. Meanwhile, we got 17 who has been wicked consistent. They're up on top of the hill. 7-7-0 gets that knock on Hakatori, but extends is immediately there for the trade.
17, look at Little Ghost on the other side of this, setting up a bit more of a strong angle on the side. Looks like it's not going to be capable of getting a flush onto Hakatori. So just going to stall this out a bit more. This is right on the edge of the zone. JDG also getting close in the perimeter of this. There's a hillside just to the west of where we see 17 laid up at that I wouldn't be surprised if JDG stops it. So the longer we end up with this fight going, 17 could be more vulnerable than they think they are.
I didn't have to worry about that as we see some more pressure coming out. Freaks was peppered by Bagopod, but they've got to turn back around as Akon gets knocked. DL out on the right side, trying to go head-to-head with Pio. He is surrounded. Guman also flooding the zone, and he's got a little bit of help from Park Pro up on the bridge, but Salute's got him pinned down. I really feel like this is a win scenario for Freaks in terms of this fight.
The way that everything is kind of lined up, they still have Songjong that's going to be on the outside of this one. He's kind of in the gatekeep trying to control the Freaks, and it's going to be how well the Bagapa can play around these smokes. You can see doing a couple of bounces, seeing if they can get some vision, but Salute, very little fear, can retreat back to the defensive line that has been set up by the Freaks. This is a rotate situation that happened up around the shipyard bridge line, but Pio on the side flank. This could come up pretty big, get some damage onto Salute, but doesn't manage to take down anybody, at least being a bit more vulnerable. Park Pro playing from that angle. They might not know that Pio is here. That nade they could think came out from him, and Pio is just creeping closer and closer by the second.
I can see him doing a little bit of smoke jumping, trying to get as much vision as they possibly can here. Salute's bouncing there, but he's about to dissipate on his first smoke. I don't think they're prepared for Pio to be willing to backstab this. They thought he would withdraw after the earlier exchange, but he is very, very close. There's the spray as Park Pro ducks back behind cover, gets that knock on Salute, and DL trying his best to put in cover and lock down Park Pro.
It's got to keep the control and angle. This is a beautiful point to play from, but Pio playing the other side has spotted it. Got some damage. That's going to definitely reveal him. How much more of a push are we going to see coming out from the other side of it? Yes, of course, Songjong in a vehicle, coming up to support, surrendering that back position that he's got. Get closer, but it's all on to DL. On this point right now, he's the linchpin for everything the Freaks are trying to get, and Pio realizes instead he's going to go flank down below the bridge. Is DL even expecting this? Because Pio could yet again be the X factor that turns this around, and DL, I think, is starting to get an idea that things could go awry.
You can hear a little bit of movement there, but Pio has the peak advantage here as he tries to come up this hilltop as long as DL is back by that car. Park Pro and Songjong continue to move forward, playing this very, very aggressively. Pio slowly but surely should see him in the grass in 3, 2, 1. He doesn't look to the right. He actually scoped in, and that's what cooks him as DL is behind the car, catches Pio off guard, and now they go up with the man advantage.
Nades just not connecting the way that Begapo wants. DL played that so well. Pio had an idea that he was there, and I guess just thought he repositioned, went for the easier shots, and the Freaks now starting to get themselves back into a much stronger position, using DL so efficiently. Songjong on the other side of this one, just kind of trapped. Look at this point that he's having to play from right now. He can't get the peaks, but he could potentially drop down low and go for a flank around.
It's a really cheeky spot because he can call movement without exposing himself to the entire DNF Freaks and then get a backstab when they stand up. Really smart to move forward on that ledge. A lot of players are not going to be utilizing that. You can see DNF is going to move right past him, and now he's in a backstab position. Heaven did hear something, though, so he is holding that angle to see that till this smoke dissipates in order to make sure he covers that play.
Very sneaky. Is he just going to go for survival? All he's trying to do is allow Park Pro to get out. The new circle has popped, and it's just to the south of this position. Everybody is clustered in the southern section of the circle. So if Songjung can actually survive, be sneaky long enough here, he could have a chance to regroup. But does he let the Freaks just path in front of him is the question, or does he want that 1 point? I think survival is just really what Vegapul wants at this stage.
He's going to go for that heal as DNF falls back to their vehicles. They got a little bit out of this. It's hard. You feel like for that $100 a kill, Songjang could have really probably got 2+ flushes if he really wanted to, but you're right. He's playing the team game. I respect that.
I mean, they already took 2 casualties. No surprise on playing it a bit safe. JDG and Anyone's Legend on the hillside that's very strong inside the circle right now. The northern section of the circle almost entirely open, and I think the Falcons are going to use that to their advantage. They're going to shift a bit more up in that direction, where T1's also going to be playing. Our 2 most northern teams really not even a little bit more than halfway through the circle. The north entirely open, and I think I see some shots. Maybe Songjung has been spotted or decided to get active. I'll have to
by taking a few
see
shots
how that goes off in the kill feed.
Meanwhile, I got JDG sneaking up on Anyone's Legend as they come up over the top of the hill. Soul has been looking in the opposite direction. I'm not sure that they know about this JDG slow push that's been moving up the hill, as they've kind of had their eyes over here on, I believe, Furia, who's in a little bit of a better position on the north. So Spaceman does see the angle. Wicked has no idea that he's there. Opening shot for Wicked. Ooh, he didn't take it. I thought he was going to go for that one. Still got the visual. Easy. Cold 119 with the bolty. They do the double tap, call the opening. Sololzi immediately flushed.
I mean, just slow pacement coming out from JDG. That was very efficient in the way that they approached it. Now going for the regroup Cold. Now that he's a bit more vulnerable in that angle, going to play back together with the other teammates. Jinji is going to be very close. Fury to the north of Anyone's Legend, but back over with Songjung, you can kind of get an idea what's going on. Navi caught up with the Expendables yet again, right on the edge of the zone. It's going to be 17 and T1 also providing some referee, but Calorius peeks back around. Very efficiently played. Navi down to 2.
I'll tell you what, man, you put Expendables in a compound and let them run at you, these guys are just as nightmarish as they were at any event in the last year. Hackatory, though, trying to make the difference here. He had a bit of a slow day yesterday. A big day one comes around that corner. Duck Juice going for the res. Switches over. Gets that gun ready. He's listening. Has a little vision of Cloris.
He has one.
Everything is slowed back down right now, playing in the smokes.
Oh my god.
Hackatory's got so much information, but Little Ghost and the rest of 17 looks like they're trying to backstab. A couple shots now going to come out from Little Ghost to apply more pressure onto this Navi, at least in the safer angles to play from right now. Gotta be careful. No, 7-7 has spotted out Hackatory. That is terrible. He's down to 5 HP. Nowhere to go. He's going to go down. It's just Theorist versus all of the Expendables now.
And not only is it him, he's also got 17 behind them. They're going to probably try to crash a third party off of this by taking the hill just above them. And that puts Ferris in a really tough position because you saw Hackatory only had 1 escape path, and it was covered by 17. So Ferris is going to go ahead and get those flashes out. But Glorious Expendables, their third Panzerfaust of the match so far.
Unnecessary, but you know, better safe than sorry. Just pops him. Gloria's going to find another one. Expendables have to head in the circle. The circle did pop and reveal itself, and it has gone north into the no man's land where we've got the river that's cutting through everything. That means that we have most of the lobby all in vehicles getting ready to rotate, and that hillside where we saw the firefight with JDG a second ago, it's got a spattering of teams. They're all trapped next to each other.
It also means that it is a dead even watermark, so they have no idea where this next shift is going to go. All the teams going to have to sort of hope that it's not away from them as they pick their spots right now. Example gets a nice shot on AZ after he gets a shot on Molodok. Both these teams trading at massive distance.
But they're managing to weather this position. It's going to be very hard. Fury's going to be back behind taking shots onto Twisted as well as Petrichor Road. Jinji going to be very close in position as well. That's why Twisted's trying to take those shots and try to shoo them away from point. Up on the hillside, we do have Fury that's taking those shots that we talked about just one moment ago. We have JDG that's been in a firefight with the E-Arena for a while, and 4 Angry Men on top of it. All these squads, no options, nowhere to really go, and yes, we do also have an emergency pickup that has been called by the Freaks to jump right into the middle of all of this.
Got to get in there and mix it up. I like that aggression by the Freaks. They're currently in second place. They got to make big moves. Lou gets shot the second he moves the car. Twisted Minds trying their best to hold Petrichor down, but This is not a lot of cover, and they're being attacked across the water. They also now have Furia backfilling behind them. Twisted Minds, I think, is running out of time.
With the river that's cutting through this, we've got FW in control of a lot of the circle, as well as Falcons to the northeast. To the southwest, it's going to be T1 and Gen G in very prime positions. Right on the edge of the zone is what we're looking at with Twisted. And there is a death funnel of squads that are back behind. The Panzerfaust could be a big play, as also the mortar is raining down on top of Twisted. At range, it looks like Furia might be playing with the idea of a bit more of an aggressive push, but that's not really their style.
Now, they're doing leapfrog scouting, so they're kind of sending one, holding, and then jumping over him with a car. You're right. They have not been very engage-oriented in this event, which has been a little bit surprising considered how well they did in TPP in the Americas region during the PPI tour. So I'm fascinated to see why they've chosen to play this so passive, and I think some of it might just come down to the fact that Korea has come out clearly ready for TPP in a way that the Americas region was not during West.
Falcons are the ones that are throwing those mortars over on top of Twisted, and eyes on this is going to be Banana 1 from FW. Orca actually also going to get involved. He wants to have some mortar fun, and Bean going to be able to pop the Tulans, as well as Orca getting the kill onto Lou. This is just mortar upon mortar. Mini red zone right on top of Twisted, and it is just example of the last one up.
This, it's brutal. I mean, that's one of those you're going to wake up screaming, remembering that time you tried to hold that power supply. Meanwhile, we got Tanvu coming back from the sky as he was brought back by the rest of his team, and E-Arena has relocated to the middle of the map with an E-pickup, completely uncontested, able to land in a nice little pocket in the high ground center.
Freaks did that just a moment ago and landing right along the river facing. They don't want to get too aggressive. They want to let everybody go in front of them. Furia is going to have Tanvu very close in parachute to him, so curious to see if he's going to do any scouting or if he's just going to go for a regroup. Looks like he's now starting to get a bit more vision on him. Furia is starting to feed that over and say, okay, where is he going to land? The Expendables look like they wanted to try to get over next to him to try to pick him up, but it's going to be so hard running right in between Gen G, Furia, and even being vulnerable potentially from the angles that are going to be set up for Petrichor Road. But the Expendables, they don't care. They're just committed. They want to get him, and whoa, Furia just destroys him.
The Expendables look so ridiculously out of sorts in TPP. I'm just gonna call a spade a spade. They are driving around like chickens without heads. They love their reses, but they are crashing and just hoping for the best, making kill money. And I think it's gonna be a rude awakening for some of our top teams that you do need to prepare for this. You do need to get ready for a different perspective and a different style of play.
I mean, the Expendables are trying to figure out how to make their style work, and you're right, it is much harder to do in TPP. They've said in their interviews they're very, very focused on trying to figure out a way to make it happen, but whenever you look at Furia, who opts into a more passive play style, presently ahead of them by 1 point at the time being, mortar is still continuing to rain down as the Freaks have to find some way to get into this zone. Gate kept on one side by FW, and 17 already in the circle.
All right, the circle looking good. Falcons have been in for a while as they have a nice little split. You can see in the distance, DNF, who had to fight through the hell that was Bagopa, is in the circle, but they're being held out by 17, who's exchanging back and forth peppers, not only with them, but E-Arena as well. I think that's the hard part of 17, is 17's got an interesting spot down here on the riverbed, but they are just surrounded, and their only hope is the UAZs and the foldable shield. Like, this is a great spot once the circle closes, but right now, it is a nightmare.
How good is that bounce? That is really close. 17 feeling a lot less comfortable than they did a second ago. You can see they were trying to set up, I believe, a mortar. That no longer feels good. It's going to be Ian that spots out Little Ghost. And now 17 in a ton of trouble in this side of their split. Sure, they still have the other two that are holding down the other side of the river, but there's just too many shots. And Ian going to find 7-7, and that is the go signal from T1. They are cutting into the circle fast.
H1 with the links out there as Genji crashes into Petrichor. Coming from the backside, no one saw Chewy as he ends up getting the easy backstab to go down. Tozy hoping to make something out of nothing as Ming Ming just closes that gap. A perfect nade, it's in his pocket, goes boom. That's a 10 Chewy as he tries to get through this. Ming Ming on the rotation around. He knows that he's behind that rock. Would love to win this 1v1. JDG eliminated in the meanwhile. Tozy going to go ahead and smoke out, see if he can't get back there to save his partner. Meanwhile, BRDM murders from FW.
I mean, FW's had control of this territory for a really long time, but it's just been the way the shrinks have happened. They've got to be careful. Sure, they've got the BRDM, but they also have the remnants of several squads all around them. 4 angry men just kind of off in the distance with just one player still up and alive. T1 trying to make that cross down in the river, but there's just too much of a defensive line set on this hill. E-Arena up on top. Freaks down low right next to him, and then, of course, FW, who's also been taking a spattering of shots in their direction.
Just out in the open, there's nothing the Freaks could do, and now T1 suffering the same end as Heather is knocked. He at least got to knock Deal before he went down. E-Arena has been in a great spot here on this high ground, but the shift away from them could prove tragic. That said, they'll still be happy. 4 kills, probably going to be able to hold out FW and may get even bigger as we go forward.
FW just got to fight their way in, but it's E-Arena. These guys, whenever we get in later stages, they know exactly how to play around terrain and well-defended positions. FW having to be the ones that are breaching into this. Sure, they've got the BRDM, but the shots are going to be very hard to deal with. On the other side of this, of course, we do have the Falcons that are doing a bit of corralling and finish off 4 angry men, but it's going to be low ground control for the Falcons, high ground control for E-Arena, and to the south, Furia trying to get in the circle right next to Twisted Mind.
Petrichor ends up running up against Twisted Minds and goes down. Meanwhile, we're back to Jacob as the 3 members of E-Arena still trying to hold this FW push. They got Doritos, they've got a blown up BRDM, and they got a prick. But FW seems like they've just got more utility, and they're using it to clear space and make this push work.
Falcons now getting more aggressive, trying to see if they can get onto this hillside as well, get a part of it. T1 also wants to pounce low on players, trying to get the kills that they can, realizing that this is the perfect opportunity to jump into everything. Couple of nades going to go a bit awry after where a already flushed member is at, but it's going to be FW doing a good job on pretty much surviving in this point. But it is a pressure cooker, and it is going to continue to get hotter and hotter, and there is just too many angles around them. This is going to be really hard for FW.
FW continuing this grind, and now here's that Twisted Minds position. I thought they were cooked earlier. The shift worked out in their favor, and they've held 2 different teams' pushes, and now their only real issue is that Furia is trying to push them from behind. Meanwhile, T1 backstabs FW and maybe gives a little bit of a lifeline to the White Rabbits.
Falcons in this high ground, so much information, and they've got to focus in on E-Arena right now, so we're going to try to prep up and get an idea on what's going on with the Falcons directly. Let's listen in on their comms.
9 alive.
Yeah.
Running rock, running construct, Tig.
I'm healing. Smoke it back real quick. FW.
I already did. His team's still on green, guys. T1's running out.
Nice.
How many is T1?
They're big. One could be under us already.
Not sure. One peeking, careful.
I don't have ammo.
We are giga fed, so try to mind that push there.
Here, I'm dropping you some bullets.
I'm trying to run back, guys. They're about to influence from green, from the shot.
Okay, we need to reset the compound.
Yeah, they're going edge. They're going edge.
Okay,
I'm running.
let's reset.
We need to get back to compound. Hey,
they're going all the way to. They're gonna crash. Yeah, or they're gonna orange. Yeah, we're coming. Grab the Panzer. It's in the car. Nice.
One's on the tin still. Okay.
Is he in the car still, Adrian, or no?
Never mind.
Is there a guy in orange?
No, I knocked the car guy. There was 3 cars. Okay, 3 different cars.
Okay, they're just gonna play field.
T1's gonna have our hill and it's gonna
ammo on me.
T1's gonna have full hill control. Yeah, we can't really.
We should go back to the hill now. No,
right,
like
well,
no, Fury can shoot us from blue.
There's 7 alive. What are the numbers? Let's talk about it.
I'll
Twist is a duo still. Twist is 100% a duo still on the power. Okay, so that makes 5, and then the other 5 are Furia and
58 for you, Tig. I left 58 bullets in there.
Massive control for the Falcons. T1 still clinging to life. Furia trying to find a way into the zone. Just Kawazine in there right now, and Twisted still alive with their 2 players. Have to find some way to get in right next to Jinji and their solo.
Yeah, I love that Falcons hold against Furia. For those of you guys who might not play as much or be on a pro team, when he says they're in pushing, he means it's kind of a aggressive, over-the-top, all-committed push to try to cash that compound. And they were able to stop them. Getting that link shot forced them over to sort of backshoot here on Twisted Minds and gave Falcons just absolute control over that entire region.
Great shots from Gizera to keep control on this angle. There's a road that's going to be right on the edge of the zone, and he is trying his best to make sure that he controls that. Gives more opportunity for the rest of the squad to play a bit safer along this southern territory. T1 also has eyes on that pathing, but Falcons realizes exactly what was trying to be set from Furia, going to force them away. Now Furia's got to keep an eye on the Batulans. He's trying to sneak his way in. We've seen him try to make some big plays, but Gizera is going to get the nade right on top of him. That means it's just being on the other side, trying to find a way in right next to T1.
It's going to be a tough order here. Falcons looking so good. I just don't know how you wrest control away from them as they have the entire circle to themselves. Furia does try to sneak in, but Kickstart is waiting. He has had their number since they made that initial park. He has just been sitting here waiting for them to expose themselves. Shumsy comes in and helps that flush, and the 2 wrap back around, knowing they do have to be aware of that threat from the side.
Oh, Kawazine tries to go for the nade onto Bean, but Bean just runs right next to the shack, takes some damage, It has an idea that there's a backstab, goes out to blue to see if maybe he can play around the solo. He's going to take so much damage, it's going to be hard to survive. It's going to be Type that actually picks it up, and Calazine has to run. He realizes that T1 is way closer than he wants him to be.
Type literally stole $100 out of his pocket as Calazine now has to run forward with that MG. But it is a tall order. 2 for T1, 1 for Furia, and Falcons out hunting like it is the most dangerous game.
Falcons high ground on this hill right now. They've got a ton of information to play for. They already heard the shots come out from T1. They know where Calazine's going to be playing from as well. So it's just making sure that there's nobody hiding behind little small independent points. Remember that they were playing the other side of this hill, so they don't know if anybody's around that rock. They're going to try to slow back down the pacing, make sure that they can try to funnel everyone on top of each other, because that just makes their life so much easier. This is just pure efficiency on how to stranglehold a late game circle.
Absolutely. It's a great spot with this perspective. They can get lots of vision with those jump peaks. There's really no way to push up this hill without showing Falcons exactly what it is that you're working with. And so you can see T1 trying to make that outside flank. They're doing the same thing for information gathering, but the fact that Kickstart has the highest spot on the map means that it is an almost unbreachable position if you don't have a couple of smoke launchers and an extra utility to sort of make that push.
Just getting to the point where there's nowhere to go, and Calazine realizes it. He does try to get over to the rock, but Ian spots out Kickstart. They go for the peak at the absolute perfect moment. Yeah. T1, top of the leaderboard right now. They're not done yet. They want to try to find a way to stab back, and they're using Calazine as a distraction to really enable that. But all these nades coming up from the Falcons, one of them has to roll close, but it just doesn't get any damage.
I will say T1's doing a great job of sort of rabbit peeking. They sent Ian up to peek, and the second that he drew Kickstart out, he had gone back down, and Type was in an off angle to get his counter peek. So they're doing a good job working as two to try to break into this spot. But Tiggleton with that off angle, sure, he's not going to maybe get the game-winning clutch if it's all open field, but this is a huge stop as Ian tries to make his way around the left side. That is the most important anchor I've seen in a minute.
Yeah, it makes it really hard because Calazine on the other side of this means that T1 just has to run up the top of the hillside. They can't play the lower section of the hill because you can see it's going to be entirely cut off. Instead, Firmery Group realizing the fact that, okay, they have to step up along this other ridge line, and we've got control over that one. We're in phase number 7, so everything's kind of slowing down. Waiting to see where phase number 8 is. The duo and the solo praying that maybe the circle will give them some love, but up on top of it all, it's drawing a lot of attention. Calazine does get the knock on H, but Calazine goes down.
What a turn by Shrimsy. That was a tough one. He was just sort of waiting to get that pick, and it was interesting because I thought he would just hold. They weren't going to push him and get the easy second place, but he decides to get active, and I respect that. Shrimsy actually has plenty of time to rotate over here and get H-Win up, but that does open the door if Type and End are paying attention to try to force a 2v2 right now.
That is a good read. Ian tries to play the lower section of the hillside, realizing that they're going to lose some information, the Falcons are, by trying to go for the res, essentially making 2 players out. Type playing the other side of this means that there's a bit more of an open angle as they try to push up this hillside, but it's going to still be very, very hard. When the new circle has popped, it does kind of shift away from this hillside the Falcons are playing for, so let's listen in on T1.
Okay, can we sleep at all? Because if not, we have to take an angle.
I think Shrimsy go orange, and then Matt and I can push to yellow after.
Do we have smokes?
Yeah, I like that.
I can just smoke line down and nade them?
Yeah,
I mean, if I get to summer, it's going to be hard. Can you give me smokes?
Yeah,
give me all the smokes. Can you give me any smokes? Listen, H1.
I just threw some here, that's all I got.
Shrimsy, you're going to drive to orange, yeah?
Yeah,
I mean, I'm there's a world where I just get fucking destroyed later. I'm going to smoke line in the middle, and I can nade, okay? I can nade off of spraying you. There should be one on green, though.
It's popped. Alright, Shrim's go orange.
I'm ready whenever you are. You ready?
Yeah. Matt,
I'm going to start driving. Let me know when I can drive. I'm already close. I'm ready. I'm throwing one stun for you.
You can do this.
Oh, big nade coming up from Kickstart. Get knock onto Ian. Makes it really complicated. Type now the last one up. Falcons in complete control. They even know exactly where Type's at. Molotovs getting thrown out. Tons of control. Nowhere to go. Falcons take game number 1 of the day.
Good.
Oh my gosh, win for the Falcons. This is killing me. I talked to Gunnar at the start of the day, and he said, well, Chief, I don't think we're winning this event. Hate to break it to you, the boys are feeling sick. They don't look sick in that act. They look sick, but the good kind, I should say, at the end of that match, as they come out with a blazer of a win and the flag to pick whichever map they want next.
Cannot wait to see what they're going to go for. We're going to go ahead and tag back in Kalares, get his insights. Where are we going? H-Win's picked it, flips around, and it is Aaron Gal.
There we go.
We go, and of course I've got Michael here as well to talk about that game. Falcons with a proper lockdown. Got Toffees first to get things rolling because, man, Falcons had that in the bag when it came to the extreme control they were holding for the hillside as well as the compound, man.
I mean, you heard H-Win, right? He was like, in the comms, boys, we got fed, right? Like, let's make the most of this, and they did. They did a great job of flexing out. They eliminated all threats from behind. They used Kickstart as a really great defensive backstab hold, and they used Tiggleton as an anchor through the entire endgame, and everyone was willing to play those roles. It was a master's class in how to win when you should.
Yeah, definitely. Of course, Falcons gets the win, but we're looking at a moment here where Expendables and Na'Vi are embroiled in a fight. Michael, I think we were a little bit apprehensive about the aggression from Na'Vi.
Yeah, I know today Navi's going to be trying to play a bit more aggressive, but when you're playing on Tego where there's a lot more loot, that also means there's a lot more Panzer spawns. So that means every aggressive early fight you're taking, at least one player on each team should have a Panzer. And I thought about BRDMs are less effective on this map as well, but especially when you go against the Expendables early, it's not the right team to be taking early aggression on.
Oh, they also want to be aggressive, right? That is the MO of the Expendables, Matrim, as obviously they do go down. But I'm impressed, Matrim, by T1 and their resilience here, because I thought on the west side, trying to cross this river was going to be a death sentence, but they played the cover game with the hill that Falcons had very well against all the eastern and southern teams.
Well, whenever it comes to T1, it's so interesting because they have like 4 different gears. We've seen them, of course, very often in their high gear where they're just going super kill heavy after anything that moves, but they also have this very defensive, slow approach that they can shift over to whenever they need to, specifically if they've lost a player or two. And it's really just propelled them into this game because whenever you get in TPP and you can control pacing, you just control everything around you.
Definitely. Toffees, obviously you said that you're a bit conflicted by the Falcons win. Did you take any Falcons members off of your fantasy
No,
team?
I dropped them because they have 3 people who are sick right now, and their coach said, we're cooked. We got to go back and do some more prep work for this. And then they come out on this map and absolutely lambast everyone. That's the thing about the Falcons, though. They get this spot. They made good strategic calls. H-Win put them on top of the high ground. There was like once they had that spot, it was just an inevitability of when the win was going to come.
Yeah, Matrim, I think that the Falcons listening that we got there was fantastic as they get 21 points to their name. But hearing those kinds of dynamics, how they want to control the high ground, the hill, how they're cognizant of where Fury can potentially see their line of sight as well, I think was brilliant comms here by the Falcons.
Yeah, and because there's vulnerabilities when you play the top of the hillside, right? Is you're profiling up for everybody that's in the low ground, especially in TPP, that can get those perfect shots in on you. So it's very, very dangerous whenever we look at trying to keep that hilltop control. But they realized that they just had all the authority. Instead, they were going to play it a bit more bold, a bit riskier, and it does end up paying off.
And will be another boatload of points for T1 as well, as they still have that number 1 spot. Michael, from your perspective, can any teams wrestle this away from T1 and South Korea in general?
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I was skeptical about T1 coming in today. At PGC 2024, they were in first place after 2 days, and they dropped to 5th place after the tournament ended. So I thought maybe they didn't have what wouldn't have what it take to win, but they are maybe changing that now. And I don't know. We'll have to see. Maybe they just carry it on.
Yeah, they're terrifying Toffees.
I mean, it feels like they've just been on standby for the last year. They've been sort of building up. They put this roster together. They've been like, you know what? We're going to keep playing FPP. We're going to be good. We're going to kind of keep showing up these internationals. But when it goes TP, it's on time. Because they are. They're playing really smart. They're running good 2-2s. The way that they're leapfrogging on their pushes looks really, really good. I have been deeply impressed with T1 and their sort of fledgling mastery. As again, TPP has not been a competitive format truly at the highest level since 2018. And these guys are kind of going back to their old ways. They've been doing it in pubs. They clearly have a little bit of a foot up.
Is paper thin ready is the question here. As we're taking a look across Falcons, you were mentioning that we thought maybe they were going to have a bit of a harder time. Obviously battling some illnesses, but it looks like we are... Was that Mark is ready? What was that? Oh, okay. He's ready soon. Sneaky Mark. Okay.
Sneaky boy.
Yeah, but
I'll tell you what.
He's doing a full T1. He's controlling all the pacing. We just got to rotate around him.
So there was this time Trevor, who I think Michael is pretty familiar with, once told me he coached H-Win at an international, and He said he has the best game sense of any IGL that he's worked with. And
Oops.
Oh, okay. He's ready soon.
So there was this time Trevor, who I think Michael is pretty familiar with, once told me he coached HWin at an international, and he said he has the best game sense of any.
What was that? Oh, okay. He's ready soon. Sneaky, Mark. Okay.
Sneaky boy.
Yeah, but
I'll tell you what.
He's doing a full T1. He's controlling all the pacing. We just got to rotate around him.
So there was this time Trevor, who I think Michael is pretty familiar with, once told me he coached HWin at an international, and he said he has the best game sense of any IGL that he's worked with, and was blown away by his ability to sort of track movement on the map. And I do think in this format, particularly in that last game, we saw HWin at his best. Those comms, the first set of comms, the second one was a little more confused. Apparently everybody desperately wanted smokes. The first time around, though, it was super cool. It was very collected. It was them feeding him information and just a really smart, tight comm system, which I always am excited to hear.
Let's check in with Paper Thin down on the stage.
Number 3. Still tons to play for. They're getting some extra money in the bag. And of course, just like we saw on day number 1 when they got their win, they're going Erangel again. So that's where our next plane will be taking us. Buckle up. It's time for the Grassy Pastures, the El Clasico. It's Erangel.
Erangel. I thought it was Erangel. So it's Erangel.
Just can't get away from boxing. It's all over social media, everywhere. Now even Paper shadowboxing against us. Toffees, it's...
Albion Online is a sandbox MMORPG in which you write your own story instead of following a laid-out path.
It's just violence everywhere today, I guess.
Hey, man, there's nothing I love more than boxing, all right? Other than the time that Poro punched me in the face at PGC and I had to have a black eye, it's generally my favorite part of the week. These guys are here to fight. We actually saw it at PGC, too. I don't remember Tab and a bunch of the guys doing some shadow boxing out there. It does seem like being willing to take a fight has become the primary focus as our drone pilot shows off just how skilled he is at that awesome skate park there in the middle of Seoul. Next game getting underway, we're transitioning back to Erangel. I'm excited about this. I'm a little curious why it is that the Falcons choose this map specifically when a lot of other teams seem to be picking ones that are a lot more cover-oriented and have central drop spots.
I mean, yeah, if anything, it just feels like you go to your comfort food. We do know that the Falcons have had a pretty decent run on Erangel for the year. It feels like where they feel the strongest. Middle maps sometimes can be a bit dicey for them, and Miramar, which used to be a very strong point for them, not always consistent. They have had some very big games on it. So instead, I guess, just lean into what you know, especially if you're sick, right? If you have some illness going on, just play it slow, play it steady, stick to basics, keep it simple, stupid kind of situation.
Yep, I do. I also think teams like Anyone's Legend, where you're not forced to sort of manage the calls as much, are going to benefit on a map like this. Our teams that kind of go for 2v2s with holds that have a little more defensive position should be pretty interesting. As I think we're on Erangel, I think the teams are learning right now how to push some of these compounds. When we go to Tego, there's a lot more functionality there.
We getting a hot drop coming in? I don't know. We saw T1, but it looked like they were isolated. I think that 4 Angry Men is going for a bit more of an eastern drop.
Wow.
Yeah, they're not going to make... Well, actually, no. Some of 4 Angry Men have actually jumped into Yaznai itself. Heather also off in the distance. Circle pops, and it's going to be centered around Razak.
Nice middle circle. Everybody's going to be happy about that one. Yaz should be big enough to hold everybody. Meanwhile, Falcons getting shot at just a little bit, or a little cover, I should say, from the Falcons as they get the Dragon off. He says, jump in, man. Should we go kill this guy? No, maybe not. So they're going to back up and head back. I think it is. No free kill today.
Well, Longs is still kind of out in the open right now. He's in the field.
Oh, no!
It's a great shot. Shrimsy down.
He jumped out. They thought we'll go hunt this guy, and Togmu, with the iron sight, is going to go ahead and get that knock on Shrimsy. That is absolutely crazy. I think he had I thought I saw a 2x for a second. But if that was an iron sight Shrimsy popper in the head, that is wild.
Now Shin on the hunt after kickstart. Gonna make a full commitment. It just crashes the building as fast as possible. He's got the shot. He's ready to go.
Yep.
Peeking around the side. It's all gonna come down. Who has the better aim? Closes the door on one side of it. Nowhere to go. Out the window. Pop on top. And kickstart goes down.
That was great. He saw him driving. He knew that he only had the Dragunov off the quick loot. And so he capitalized on that and made a big push knowing that he could overwhelm him with his automatic firearm. And it was a really good push here from 4 Angry Men. Falcons coming off a win, picked the map, now down 2 players.
So a little bit of distance away from T1 on Yasnaya, going to feel really good now as they finally winning a hot drop over here, as T1 has been making their life absolutely miserable on Erangel. So good start for 4 Angry Men. It's down towards the bottom of the leaderboard. Anything that you can kind of get the ball rolling, but Falcons on the other side of that, after coming off of a solid victory, already down to 2.
With a great circle, too. If this hadn't happened, they had a solid transition into the mid, sort of where T1 was doing a big spread. They would have easily moved to a good compound, somewhere probably in the vicinity of Volcano. So this is going to really hurt them. And it's tough when you think that you're so far behind coming in. You have a big first game. To have the second one go that way has got to be heartbreaking, especially because if you guys are watching at home, which I know you are, there's only 5 games today. So it's not traditionally the 6. There's less makeup space. If you want the $50,000, we're almost done.
Oh, 50,000.
This is really interesting looking at the way that the circle is kind of landed. Rozhawk is going to be in the center of it, entirely open, but the Freaks have got a 2-2 split entirely around it. Nobody is in Rozhawk itself right now. Petrichor Road is going to be in School and Apps. Of course, we get 17 down in Pachinki itself. So JDG is doing a bit of a stretch. Most of our teams kind of doing a bit of a split around Rozhawk, and finally it is going to be the Freaks running through it, but it's pretty open, all considered, in the circle so far.
No one wants Rozhawk. Rozhawk is the absolute worst town to be in a third-person lobby, right? Because across the river, above you at the radar tower, the houses by the bridge, every single one of them has a rooftop or a hilltop access where you can be watched in anywhere that you transition inside of Rozhawk. So that is going to be, I think, a last-ditch location for some of our teams who will probably try to avoid getting into any kind of valleyed city. Is really, really rough. Here's that. It was an iron sight. He leads the shot perfectly. That's highlight reel material. Boom.
I mean, at this point, I think the Falcons might want Rozhawk. It's at least a safer drop than that. As looking out on the circle so far, we've got Irina that's up in Zarki. Stolber is going to go over to Furia. Everybody else on the outside is going to be FW. Twisted, who's down into Milta Minor through Power. Inside of Milta proper is going to be Anyone's Legend. And Gen G doing a bit of a regroup with the Expendables playing in the Gatka field.
Man, I'm not even mad about them dying to that. Like, that Car 98 shot was so freaking sexy. Like, you can't even, like, when that happens in game, you're like, well, they earned it. That was wild. What a shot.
Yeah, there's a lot of small moving factors that we're trying to get everything eye on right now. I think that we're trying to see if Michael's got anything that he's going to be bringing in, so we'll keep an ear on him for just 1 second. We do have a red zone that's going to appear on top of JDG and Begapa, but shouldn't be anything too scary right now for those guys. Very slow in rotate, given the fact that this is a pretty centered circle, but the center meta is still staying quite strong.
Yeah, we got teams definitely going to a couple of those high ground spots in the middle. The issue is we still have, land ratio, and if that shift goes north of the river or south, everyone else has to make a transition. So a lot of our players getting decent spots, but ones where they can keep their cars protected and make a big transition. When you talk about TPP, it takes that car value to the umpteenth level. Sure, 4 cars is an insanely important strategy when it comes to first-person perspective, but as we make this transition, because of the extra vision you can utilize with cars, because of the need for cover, because of the quick transitions, cars are paramount. And these early phase 2, phase 1 preparations for shift are going to revolve a lot around keeping those cars safe and keeping them on hand.
Curious to see if the Falcons are managing to get any of their blue chips back, or what the situation with that is there's not a lot of people around them. They did have one of their players go very well, I wouldn't say centered, but a little bit off center, and that's going to put them surrounded by Na'Vi players. And I think that might be what Tig is over here for, looking for blue chips. I don't know, though. So let's go ahead and see if we can get the comm set up, and let's do a quick listen in.
Buggy.
Oh, they're on full-on silent mode right now. We are listening to their comms, but there's just nothing happening with it.
I heard a guy shooting an AK in police, which is really weird.
One of them are police. Where'd your car get toxic? Sorry? From Bend.
It was either Bend or, like, Volcano. Probably from Bend.
If you're gonna look for info on our tipstick, you should be playing like orange or something. Like, yeah, I think you go east.
I was just looting, waiting for FW. I was gonna say 4 drive field as well.
There was a guy about Volcano. There's a team hacker.
Roger.
And they're shooting at a car on island.
You're completely alone, H1.
Yeah, I'm stuck.
Riveting stuff from the Falcons. I do like that their comms are completely silent unless it's feeding valuable game information, right? Like, there's a discipline to the way that they do their conversations.
Yeah, and also good idea on rotation and tracking, knowing the fact that it's going to be FW that's going to be close to them. I don't think that we've seen FW make an appearance in the kill feed. Really, it's just been the Falcons, and that's been about it. The only ones that have gone down, so that's just going to be all on knowledge coming into the game, an idea on rotate. H1 is pretty surrounded in the circle, as you heard Tiggleton say, is he's got T1, I think it's Petrichor Road, and Na'Vi all just entrenched around him in position, so Tig's just kind of roaming around on the outside of this, figuring out how he can even get into the circle.
Yeah, it's a tough one because this is the best part and the worst part of Erangel. If you get that early rotation, you get a good spot, you get the shift, it's a really good win condition. But if you suffer like the Falcons did, where they get ambushed early, they fall behind on rotations, like you end up with Tiggleton driving around the entire north of the island to try to salvage. Meanwhile, Begopop up here in this compound, looking around, I think E-Arena has to know, are they going for the crash? They are. Legend.
Rolls right up next to Park Pro, waiting to see who's going to come through. He's got Shoddy ready to go. He's still waiting to see who's going to step through. Gets the taps in, makes it look simple right off the kick. So, here come the reinforcements. The rest of Begopod just running down the hillside. E-Arena realizing there could be some problems. Opon's very isolated. Does have reinforcements at least back behind him in Nurens, but the full wolf pack from Begopod going to make any type of push from here very difficult.
I just don't think they know that Opons is up there. So we saw the crash from E-Arena. I think that they got up there quietly, and so Begopod does take a shot. They now know that Opon's there. This buys them plenty of space to work from that garage house. And I mean, you got to withdraw Opons at this point, but I don't know how you do it.
I mean, Lyrics was trying to play into the west. Begopod already saw him in movement. This is just kind of turned into an awkward standoff where you're kind of entrenched over here. JDG also has a 2-2 split pretty far around this one. Nade being a bit of its own problem right there, as I think that Opon's, well, smokes are now starting to come out. Songjong, he wants to play this aggressive. Nurens is going to have to keep his defense very strong. Park Pro already knows where he's going to be at. Peeks around the trees, but Opon's in a lot of trouble. Good throw coming out from Songjong.
That's Nade, a good push there, and we're going to have to immediately see them fall back as Nurens goes ahead and tries to get some cover down on the car so we can just get out of here. Get out of here.
Yeah, I mean, Lyrics was even up to the north at this point. It's just time to get out of point position. Circle has gone back to the southeast, so it's going to be other side of the river, so everybody up here is going to have to be making some rotates. We've got Michael with some information and eyes on the game so far.
Yeah, I'm fully expecting Falcons to be fully playing on edge of zone or in the blue this game. I think their comeback plan will probably have them land in Yasnair if they can do it, just because of that insane shot earlier in the game.
Yeah, I mean, no surprise. It's just full damage control. Here's H1 we just saw kind of hunker down in point.
Whoa!
Twisted's caught up in a firefight right now with the Expendables, who just made a send right into Apps. Twisted, this is comfort territory for them, though. They know how to play this very efficiently.
You never enter a two-front war in Europe, and you never fight Twisted Minds in apartments. These are two basic rules of war, and here we are. Expendables saying, yeah, we can take this, and I just expect Twisted Minds has defended, played, and owned this spot for so long. I think they like it when this happens.
Easy presentation for some points. I love the fact that how they secure two buildings, but not too aggressively. Notice the fact that the cars are going to be a bit closer to the position that the Expendables are going to be playing from. Expendables still sitting in that 11th place position, while Twisted eyes on the top three still, as it is just 5 points away from the Freaks, and they need a big game if they want to even have a chance to catch up to T1, who is presently playing themselves into a pretty good position. 2-2 split, not far off center.
All right, let's take a look at a little bit of loot for Tiggleton as he continues to sort of salvage as much as he can out of this game. Throws a 6X in the trunk, grabbing some supplies for his friends, potentially. T1, who's dominating the leaderboard right now, still in a great spot. Furia, though, getting real close, chasing him down. Panzerfaust ready but not in hand. Tong Mu hitting Furia as he tries to push forward. T1, I think, could be saved by a little bit of that pressure.
Well, I love the fact that they are staying committed in this one for right now. They have Furia up in their face, and I knew that this was just a matter of time. I think that Tig was just waiting for everybody to get away from him before he went for the reses. The full regroup from Furia has happened onto the duo for T1, and the other duo is staying pretty committed, just having faith. There you have got an angle of defense, and just going to go ahead and let the other two players kind of hop in vehicles and slowly move out of point. All of this still happening around H1, by the way.
Mm-hmm. This is about the pace that I expect for this map. It's going to be a little bit slower in the mid game as everybody secures their spots. Nade being cooked up by Wicked. If he can hit this, it would be big on T1, but I think he decides it's not worth as he doesn't really have a follow-up.
Love Roblox? Earn Roblox digital gift cards with Microsoft Rewards. Sign up for Microsoft Rewards and earn points for your everyday...
It's just hard to watch every angle at once as T1 chases the rest of his teammates away.
Anyone's Legend's got to be a bit careful about this now that there's everybody from T1 right next to each other. T1, though, going to be on the receiving end of that damage. Emergency pickup has been called from E Arena. Looks like they're just going to try to figure out where the circle's going to lay for this one. Anyone's Legend, though, they've got to be careful. Na'Vi eyeing this one, gets some damage, but there is a pretty decent crossfire if he's not careful.
I mean, they've already taken the tires out. He has very little hope here. And we go back to the Tiggleton efforts to escape. He jumps out. He gets the one. He seat swaps, goes around the back, tries to make the play, but Begopa was not having it as they come around with the entire army of cars, the whole fleet deployed to kill Tiggleton.
I mean, free point for Begopa. They've got to continue on their path. They keep going this way, though. Downside is that they're going to bump into FW. At least Tig completed mission, though. He called back into the other players. Have to see where they're going to be hopping and jumping. Furia making their own committed run right through everything. Twisted kind of still caught up with what's going on into Abs. Means that there's at least an opportunity to get in the hillside. The circle has popped down into the southeast, and it is just going to be running right into Parachute Posa. That is just crazy. Takes down Nurin so fast.
Nurin's never stood a chance. Where's this Furia been all week? As they make a push up, Kalanzine firing into the smoke, trying to make something happen here, as Na'Vi does have the high ground. I don't think they're going to push up over the top. They're going to be pretty content to just hold this position for a minute and let everything settle itself out as that circle popped, and it is really centered on almost everybody.
Yeah, it's just going to be more of a crunch in. It's Begopa on the outside, JDG on the outside, and just territory control. E-Arena does get eliminated. Emergency pickup not going in their favor. Falcons are trying to parachute in right now, but under some pretty serious duress as there's a lot of teams taking pot shots, and it's just a bit messy in the north, but I think that most of them have managed to land.
They can land. There's just not a lot of real estate, and Tiggleton was in charge of driving around and finding supplies. They got him. Begopa picked him off on transition, which means Falcons are going to be coming in severely underfunded. And it's going to be a very tough game for them to continue this climb out of fourth place. Meanwhile, though, Twisted Minds, who's at 93 points, does have a decent spot in the circle and 4 alive. So this might be that moment where Twisted Minds says, hey, it's not all about Korea. We, too, can play this game.
Begopa getting closer and closer to FW. He's playing a couple of little sneaky angles right here. Begopa just playing the dip at the crossroads. No need to make too desperate of a push. JDG rotating on the other side of this, though. And it's going to be along the pathing where Jinji has got set up. Bean looks like he's going to be the man out, feeding information over in the rotate. Should have probably spotted that, but I think that JDG is doing enough of a shift along the hillside that it is, of course, going to force Jinji back down the hill. Not the cleanest of sight lines, but 17 is going to spot him on 1. First stage of the gauntlet at least starting to get completed, but remember, Fury is in the dip just a bit further ahead.
Yeah, it's tough, too, because they want to get these knocks. Otherwise, JDG is going to leapfrog them and take a better hold position in the middle that Genji will ultimately have to cross. Meanwhile, T1 got into it with 4AM. 4AM opened with some strong knocks, but they've been able to turn it back around. Kalanzine now with JDG, because remember, JDG drove past, ended up down here where Furia just eliminated EA, but now it's them getting torn apart.
It just is the catalyst. Everybody now looking into this. You can see Na'Vi taking shots. If you look down at the mini-map, it's just a plethora of lines all on top of Furia. JDG, it's an absolute mess on this point, and it's just a matter of survival. Circle, though, at least pops, goes up to the northwest, keeping, I think it was Apps in school in play.
Yeah, from a very quiet to cataclysmic on that feed just over the course of a couple of seconds as teams had to make those forced transitions after the shift. EN going to go ahead and make that final push onto 4 Angry Men. They do wipe them, but they should be able, I think, to get everybody back up as well. So T1 in a great spot.
Okay, now you've got to make some more, I guess, dedicated, dangerous rotates. FW just going to sit it right next to Begopa. Begopa's going to get kind of stopped off on their point. Freaks are going to go for a bit more of a regroup now that Falcons are eliminated. Begopa's a con, just getting whatever shots he can onto FW on top of him. Here come the reinforcements. This is a great counter move, but up on top, Na'Vi really supervising it all.
Begopa in cars, unstoppable. Furia eliminated from the high ground. Na'Vi putting in work, but that Begopa crash was absolutely gorgeous. If I'm them, I say never ride a compound again. Just drive cars.
Well, they're going to continue that strategy. Park Pro in a car up to the, I guess, the southern area. This Na'Vi 2-2 split strong enough to do damage, but doesn't eliminate either squad for the time being. Begopa still sitting on 4. They've got to continue their path into the zone. It's just 6 Sacks that's going to be ahead of them. Issue is, this hillside is not going to be very comfortable, as most of the strong positions already taken. T1 in the BRDM.
Hey man, what's the best advice you can give someone that's in sales?
Switch to Monday CRM.
Oh, awesome. Thanks.
Roaming forward, scouting, feeding the information back over to the other players, and it is about time to get the kills started up as Petrichor Road spots out Ian, but it's going to be Wicked that gets the kill.
Nice job, T1, crashing a team that's been having a lot of trouble so far in this event. Anyone's Legend having trouble even with comms as they've got 2 different language functionalities. T1 does come in, gets that BRDM run over as Wicked gets knocked and flushed again. I will say that was a good hold against T1. Himas now trying to make something happen as Rainy wants to go up and save type.
Slow and steady. It's the little engine that could, trying to go up the hill and see if he can get to type. But it looks like Human might have an idea to come after this. Spotted it at range, realizing there's an opportunity. Squad in first, vulnerable, and Human wants to get the opportunity, but it's going to be a second too late. Type is thrown in the BRDM, and now it's just pathing. Do they have a Panzerfaust at the ready? UAS is set up waiting for it, and I think that they've just got to relent. Go back into position.
Priest will fall back to a cover spot. They have a compound that's inside the circle. They can't risk being distracted from doing that. Na'Vi trying to hold against BGP. Begopa, nice play by Park Pro as he does get that burn down. That's going to open them for another aggressive breach. Begopa showed up today and said, we don't care. We're playing aggressive. If we see you, we fight you, and they're doing it over and over again.
Na'Vi is going for a regroup. Wow. Could be at the worst time for Begopa, playing the opposing side of this. Na'Vi, you talked about they wanted the kills. Well, they've got the presentation in front of them. The problem with it is it's been Begopa that's been on their own run so far. Na'Vi on the low end of this also has to be careful because 6 Sacks is going to be right next to him. The longer we can see Extends survives, it could open up an opportunity for these guys on the outside. A couple of shots coming out. It's going to be Song Jung on one side of it, PO on the other. In their defense, Ferris just doesn't have the opportunity to go for the shots that he wants.
I'm not sure if they saw him yet as Pio does back behind the car. He hits with the grenade. Doesn't get the kill, though. Pio able to make his way back to cover. Now Song Jung knows exactly where he is. Pulls out that grenade, cooks it, tosses it, bops it. Doesn't even need it as lead ultimately leads to the death of Hakatori and Ferris.
Here comes Anyone's Legend. They want to try to pounce on this as well. And Extends now the only one up. Everybody that came to rescue him down, and he is just trapped in the smoke. He is going to go down. Anyone's Legend trying to pounce on the Begopa, who's sitting at 9 kills. This is going to be a hazardous situation because Begopa feels like they are on it right now.
Begopa has been playing out of their mind. 9 kills already. 4 people alive is a wild flip for them. They've been using cover absolutely incredible, dodging grenades like they're made of Kevlar. And meanwhile, Lil Ghost and Show are engaging with the freaks here. Twisted Mind's going to be overseeing this as they continue to dominate in their apartments. Maladoc getting aggressive. He goes down. The cross was too strong. Tanvu had an off angle on him.
A lot of utilities probably been burned over here for as long as this has been going on. 17 in the high ground back behind all of this. The focal point is definitely apartments. Gingy's going to be holding down school. Petrichor Road going to make their rotate. Remember, we still have that weird situation going on with Begopa and Anyone's Legend on the outside. Example, looks like he does at least manage to get a bit closer on the side of this one, but 6 Sacks waiting to see if he can backstab the rotate for Anyone's Legend.
Example going to go ahead and get healed. They desperately wanted to try to get to Maladoc to pick him up, but it just doesn't seem like it's in the cards. DN Freaks now has the high ground in the apartment complex, and it is impossible to fight Twisted Minds one-on-one in the apartments, but it is not impossible when there are 3 teams entered into this area with Petrichor, who also has Overlook if you try to operate on the roof. So it is a very tough area for these guys to play. I expect the aggression to wane just a little bit as the 3 teams will wait to see if they can get a peak trade and what else might happen.
On the outside of this one, Begopa and Anyone's Legend both playing right along the edge of the zone, caught up in a firefight. No real options except for just make a bit more of a commitment, but it's going to be the guys that are playing inside the apps with now the supervision on the hillside, and it is getting dicey. Anyone's Legend down to 2, but Begopa also down to 2. 6 Sacks trying to get a bit more involved in it, but it's going to be Petrichor Road that keeps vision and keeps him out.
I26v6 killing tires as best he can. Anyone's Legend still trying to hold on as him and Soul are the two left standing. Speaking different languages, using the best English they can to communicate. It's going to make this a very difficult push as FW is eliminated.
17 still on that hillside, also has great vision on Begapa. Circle goes to apartments yet again. That means that school is going to be out of play. UAS just hopping up in the air for just a second, making it a bit dicey for cover. Soul, Himas, in a little bit of trouble. Damage stacking up more and more. Himas goes down. Soul, the last one up. Begapa just trying to cling to life, has to be careful. It's going to be 7-7 on the other side, taking shots right into their backside.
Mingming got a nice little cover there through the bush, trying to finish off Soul if he can possibly do it. Soul did manage to get Akan, and Begelpaw has been put on the brakes. So they're at 10 kills, eliminating anyone's Legend. These guys down to 1, but they're not going to care with 10 kills to the better. This has been a really good game for them.
Jinji sent Orca over next to 17, and that was punished really, really fast. As I think that Jinji, are they going to make the commitment into this run? They don't have too many more options. They're all kind of stacked up on it. They've just got to go. And they've got to get the shots, at least being get some damage in. 17, now they were doing the harassment on all the hillside firefighting, finds themselves under that duress position. The Expendables taking shots into this at range, and this a little bit of a dip, not feeling too comfortable for too much longer. If any utility hits, one nade can just absolutely ruin them, and Flame has a Panzerfaust.
A Panzerfaust is a really bold spreads, but they do go ahead and get it off. 17 trying to split into 2-2 to negate that Panzer just a little bit. Grenade's going to go out to buy some zoning space with utility here. Xiao Wu is going to know where they aren't based on how this goes off. They do nice damage with that first 1, 2, 3, 4 more grenades all go out at the same time as Sho tries to wrap back around. Flame going to hide inside the smoke, get as much vision as he can. Clory's the Expendables on the roof of the 3rd floor of the apartments also getting involved.
Boom!
Panzerfaust does connect onto a vehicle, but doesn't get what they want. Big damage onto Flame. He's going to go down. Moore is now also getting involved. Jinji was wanting to try to slow back down the pacing, regroup all back together, get their reses back in order, but that's just giving rally time for 17. They are finding ways to get a piecemeal out of it time and time again. Little Ghost, the Zamorders get closer and closer and force Jinji back up against the blue zone. Tanvu gonna pop Flame, and Jinji in a lot of trouble now.
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, the complete...
Meanwhile, Park Pro Solo drives over and says, I'm going to get involved. Why not? Let's try to steal a kill here up on the high ground. So look for a little thieving from Park Pro as the fight goes off. Orca with a nice grenade going out. Lil Ghost trying to dodge those mortars as everyone in the lobby has decided to throw any ordnance they have in this general direction. How many grenades do you guys have? It's wild.
I mean, they were in school for so long, so Jinji should be pretty looted. Jumping from smoke to smoke, it's a matter of time before Park Pro finds a way to ruin anybody's day, and it looks like it's going to be Jinji as the focal point for it. Sho is going to spell it out Orca. Orca at least gets a knock on a Little Ghost, but 3 players still up. Begapa trying to find more. Nades rolling down, does get the flushes, but look at the damage coming up from Park Pro.
Big damage, but he hasn't been able to close it down. Meanwhile, the Expendables see him from the district, and the glories of Clories as he puts another $100 in his pocket. Bold play by Park Pro. I respect it. 17 does ultimately get their last player up and comes away as the winners from that exchange. And I got to tell you what, Match'em, I think they got to increase the weight on these grenades. There is far too much ordnance available to these players.
17 at 8 kills right now. Freaks and Twisted still down in apps. With the way that the circle is popped, it means that it's going to be 17, the team that's got to move. Twisted, the Expendables, the Freaks, all inside of apps, Petrichor Road, and they're a little bit of a building on the outside of it. And 17 has been, I mean, everybody that has vision onto this. I mean, Freaks, the Expendables, I think even Twisted, and where we can see Lou playing from, could be able to spot out any movement. This is going to be disastrous for 17 unless they find some vulnerability to exploit.
This circle being on 4 of the actual apartment complexes that have people in them is absolutely wild because Petrichor can just hold their spot. They don't have to engage here. 17 is going to kind of slow creep with this blue. They'll be able to stay alive. So I expect us to be in a very tight couple of maybe a minute or two here where everyone's just trying to find information. And if a fight breaks out, the third parties, once this closes, are really going to be the difference maker in this game.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm looking at this, and so 17 has a chance if they can get a knock onto somebody from the Expendables and really only has to deal with the Freaks. or if they just opt into a very wide wrap down into Petrichor Road, but that's going to be under shots for a long time. It looks like it is going to be the Expendables push is what they're going to be going for. They're just going for as hard of a committal as they can, and remember, the Expendables are a bit vulnerable, but God! Tanvu on top punishes it so hard, and it's just 2 players up for the Expendables, but now just 2 up for 17.
2 up. It is better in than I thought they would get on that crash. Chloe's going to go to the high ground as the blue is going to slow them down. I like that little portable shield, so they can't do a short nade toss. They can force the res, and to be able to get 3 players this close to the apartment for a crash is actually, I think, a success for 17. Maybe not.
This is a great play coming from Petrichor. They're just trying to sneak into this using this distraction that 17 has set up. They can't really get the shots in, but they are at least getting some damage onto the Freaks and keeping this into separated firefights. Glorious wants to look down on it so bad. Does get the knock. He's just going to play up on top of it all. He has so much vision, but he can't get the angle. He goes for the Batman, drops down, and finishes them all off. 17 is annihilated.
That was a sick move. Bruce Wayne comes from the high ground, couldn't get the angle from the top, and says, you know what? When all else is lost, I must jump. Tanvu goes to loot, says, I should get a couple of these boxes too, sir, as I stopped the initial crash. And Guman up on the hill going to go ahead and try to hold.
Petrichor Road couldn't get their shots on the Freaks, man. That kind of sucks. So they're still just trapped over here.
All right, Clory's and the guys from Expendables going to get themselves built back up. They got to repair, get a few more items out of those boxes. There's not going to be a lot of utility in there. We saw 17 burn almost everything they had in that fight up on top of the hill with Gen G, so there's not going to be a lot of recover potential, but what they really need out right now is smoke grenades so they can make the transition to other apartments should they need to do so. There's going to be a lot of windows you have to smoke if you're trying to make a transition here.
2 players still up from the Expendables just shopping right now. They've been trapped over here for quite a while, right next to the Freaks and Twisted, and that could be a big play. As remember, it has been a game of attrition, really, between these 3 squads for a long time, so 17 just dropping in a ton of extra utility for late stages could be absolutely massive. Freaks, the closest to the center dot in this. It's going to be Twisted a bit further away. The Expendables do have to move to get into the circle. Petrichor Road, other side of the hill, and it's really just all going to come down to vision and the game of chicken on who goes first.
And that will open the door for everyone else, right? You know, when that first fight breaks out, it's time for you to try to fill from behind or slip in. Petrichor going to have an idea of possibly doing that if Freaks ends up mixed up with Twisted Minds. The Expendables going to get in the car, start to slide forward. Heaven has vision on them right away. I just don't know how you get in, man.
Yeah, they don't really either. This is just kind of a desperation play, hoping that the smokes are going to give them enough. But Human just wrecks Tanvu and doesn't work the first time. Not really going to work too well the second time, but it is going to be Twisted Minds that sneaks in, seeing if they can exploit the distraction that is being presented.
I like that they're being aggressive about that. Botulinum going to go up there and try to clear the bottom floor with the Molotov, push him out of the room. Expendables is eliminated. He's going to toss that first molly to buy them a little bit of space. Good grenade out that front door to slow down his potential push. But that molly, very strong, the double molly, made the fire spread just a little bit more.
And now he has to retreat from that angle. Example's going to go down, and it's going to be I-266 gets it. But 2-1's going to go down. Heaven's going to spot him. Just Lou, and he's already in a lot of trouble. Petrichor Road on the other side, kind of giving him some space to at least get his meds back in order, and that's going to be all she wrote. Ming Ming's going to be the one to get it, so it's going to be Freaks with 4 up, and then Petrichor Road on the other side with 3, but Petrichor Road has gotten themselves into a very good defended position, and the Freaks are going to have to assault it.
Remember the glory of the Guild War? It's time to show your strength once again. Rally your gold and reclaim your honor. Step into the
I love the Twisted Minds took the incentive to try to push that. I love that Freaks were able to hold it. They never lost their anchor positions. They never pulled anyone off the roof. They just locked it down. Huge grenade that says, oh, we know you're there. And Petrichor with a tree and a rock has to hope to do... Go to the blue, man. There's no way to push this. How do you push this?
Well, the Freaks want this because it gets them so much closer to T1. Petrichor Road just wants anything on the face of the earth. Down in 15th right now, anything that they can find is going to be absolutely massive. Petrichor Road, though, taking a ton of nades, just dropping right on top of him. So Loot ready and waiting on the high ground of it's going to make this so much more complicated. They get to navigate with all the information, but Heaven does get knocked. AZ is going to be playing the other side of the smokes, looking down at the Doritos. No time to go for reses. I2 6v6 is going to go down. Ming Ming trying to go forward, takes some damage off of this covered point, but at least forces the yell away. But so Loot with the Panzerfaust, ready and waiting to pounce on anything in front of him. Nades coming out from Ming Ming. Can anything connect?
Nice push there. Human gets knocked down as AZ does get a play. Lots of grenades coming out. Petrichor has been camped out, not having to use their utility. Down to 2 as they try to make this go on a 2v2. Salute down as a 2v1. Petrichor could close this out. Ming Ming on the right side. AZ on the left. The Dorito, all that matters. AZ with the jump shot. And it's Petrichor Road from the outside. Crushes the apartment boys.
Runs up and takes it away. The moment that Salute went down, everything spun back around. Petrichor Road knew that they had the momentum, but I mean, that was still a really good game for the Freaks, and I think that got them within just touching distance of T1.
It actually should move them up very, very closely. Honestly, T1's going to be ecstatic that Petrichor pulled out the win, or I do think Freaks would have put them in a 1-to-1 chase going into the last 3 games of the day. Petrichor picks up the flag. They're going to walk over to the map select. We've played 1 Tego. We've played 1 Erangel. That means anything is still up for grabs.
What is the road that Petrichor is going to send us down? This is a bit of a wild card, as it looks like it is going to be Miramar as their choice, keeping it spicy for game number 3.
He was like, Ming Ming, your input is not required. Miramar it will be, as they pick the map and we head to the Dusty Dunes.
Let's go ahead and tag in Colaris and Michael to give us a ton of insight on that last game.
Yes, thank you very much, boys. I was totally on board with you. I thought to myself, what if Ming Ming doesn't agree with the choice? What if he's just going to come and be like, wait a minute, what are you guys up to?
Alright, I'll be back. 10 minutes.
But yes, I've got Michael here joining me as we were watching that game backstage. And obviously here, Petrichor Road, it is pretty much a home circle for them here, Michael. However, there was a lot of bouncing around from school to compounds here for them to get this win.
This is you. Wait, no, this is you. And you want to conquer the world of Albion? Here's what you have to do. Craft a pickaxe, gather some more, smelt the ore, make a set of armor, craft it... Huh? No, now's not the time for fishing. Go and craft a sword already. Now that you're all geared up, find a dungeon, kill the boss, get some loot, go to the city, enlist into a faction, conquer an outpost. Well, stop petting your enemy's wolf. Get back into the fight. You might learn some discipline by joining that guild. Follow the orders of the wise and noble guild leader. Perhaps it's better to create your own guild. Recruit players, go into the Outlands, recruit more players, build a hideout, recruit even more players, prepare everyone for battle, and conquer a castle. See? It's that simple. Now go out there, brave warrior, and conquer the world. Ooh, I suppose it wasn't meant to be. But perhaps you, loyal viewer, will do better. So download today and conquer the world of Albion Online.
Yeah, it is very odd for the school apps team to find themselves in the single yellow house east of apps. Usually that's a team that just makes a circle 2 or circle 3 send. That's like it's like a full-on Roth play that you'd find yourself in that house. But yeah, usually not the school apps team.
No, definitely not. Obviously, we saw at the beginning of the game the most insane shot. Michael, for me, that has to be the shot of the tournament so far. That was barbaric.
Yeah, that's just why these national events are so good compared to regionals. You just see some world-class players hitting shots, and honestly, Shrimsy probably got hit like that, and he's just thinking, yeah, I mean, this just happens. What can you do? and then Shen just comes in full momentum and just cleans out Kickstart as well.
No, definitely. Now, talk to me about how this all played out. I mean, DN Freaks, it was difficult for them to really deal with where Petrichor Road was. Of course, Twisted Minds was a bit of a focal point in this game as well, right?
Yeah, I saw Twisted Minds. They were sitting on the hard edge of Circle 1, and they hit like a 45-second, 30-second pre-drive, full send it through the middle of everyone. Just go apps. They want to go home. They love playing out of apps. They take as many apps as possible and spread out one-on-one. They control as much as they can. If one guy gets crashed, it's very easy to leave and regroup with his teammates covering him.
And of course, we're watching as, unfortunately for Clories, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, has to fall all the way off apps here to try and get this full cleanup on 17. This was a moment, Michael. It's always difficult in PUBG when you can't face exactly down for that angle.
Yeah, I know how he's feeling. You just have the inner rage that you can't look down far enough. You're like, I'm going to ruin the game right now for my whole team. I'll get in there. It's me or him. It's me or him. One of us is dying. You just have to jump on his head and attack him.
Yeah, tough stuff as we look at these final moments as well. DN Freaks has just been a force, just an absolute force throughout all of these TPP games. There was a moment where I thought maybe they were going to be able to do something here against Petrichor Road, but the big swing around. And Michael, it's a very important win, I suppose, for Petrichor Road, because I don't think that they're going to be in contention for that $50,000 first place, but every single kill you get $100, every win you get $1,000, and they can try and challenge for that, I guess, end of day $5,000, right?
Yeah, and I mean now they shouldn't be in last anymore either. I think it's also important for a global partner team to be putting on a good show. I did think that DNF and Twisted Minds could have controlled this Peril win because they were in that single yellow house and they did not pop all of their tires. So Petrichor drives from that single yellow house to the shack that they then win the game from, and that should not be allowed. If you go to that single yellow house, you are meant to have no cars left as soon as you get there. Everyone should be popping your tires.
Well, it looks like Petrichor Road will take the #1 spot for the moment, but it is Falcons just a little bit behind them. The problem for everybody else, especially for Twisted Minds with only the 15, is DM Freaks and T1 are not slowing down. 19 points and 18 points on the day so far. It's a nice little bounce back for Furia, Michael, who on Tago was able to control quite a decent eastern spot for a little while, and then of course kind of it all falls apart once Falcons has the spot that they were controlling.
Yeah, I think Furious find themselves in a lot of just like mosh pit, weird fights where they just want to show individual skill, but it's just so hard at these international events because every single player you're fighting against can 1v4 you in a split second. I just don't know. They have some good games with like 6-7 kills, but then they also hit a couple donuts, and then they maybe have some low confidence. And I think they're finding it a little bit hard to keep momentum, but they have so much talent. It's probably about confidence, to be fair.
Yeah, for sure. Enjoying your cast so far, Toffees. Obviously, you've been the eyes in the sky as we've been watching some of these games go down. I don't know how we're going to slow Korea down, man. I think T1 and DN Freaks are looking primed to be with the champion here for whoever it may be, right?
With JDG eSports, December
Right.
and Cold 119.
Let's check in with Bella, though.
December.
I'll get to you in a moment.
December. Your form is incredible. Can you tell us a little bit more? What is the rise in your form? Tell us all about it.
혹시 디셈버 선수 이번에 폼이 너무 좋거든요. 그 원동력은 뭔지 디셈버의 12월 디셈버가 왔거든요. 좀 이야기 들어볼 수 있을까요?
比赛达到第3天，你的表现越来越好，能告诉我们原因吗？
调整好了，然后我们沟通也好一点。
지금 여기에 잘 적응하고 있고요. 계속해서 열심히 연습하고 있기 때문이라고 합니다.
He said he's been integrating really well, and he's put a lot of practice in, and that is the reason behind his rise in peak form. All right, that is great. And Cold, you were also the top leader on day 2. Can we expect more of JDG's potential and spectacular plays with the upcoming TPP form change?
이제 콜드 선수는 데이 2의 킬리더를 탑을 찍으면서 정말 멋진 플레이를 보여주고 있거든요. 이제 TPP에서 JDG의 활약 어디까지 바라볼 수 있을까요?
这次赛事你的下数量很多的。那我们在这个 TPP 模式的在 JDG 战队有什么样的表现呢？有什么样的表现？我们这个战队你们 JDG 战队。
我觉得是上次 PGC 失利之后尽快调整成这样的吧，因为 PGC PGC 没有进到复活赛，然后就是很早就淘汰了，然后也想了很多东西吧。
이제 들어온 여기가 연습한 지는 많이 얼마 되진 않았지만 여기서 잘 적응하고 있고 더욱더 여기서 좋은 활약을 잘 하도록 더 열심히 노력하겠다고 합니다.
He's not satisfied with the amount of practice they have gotten in so far, but he's rooting for more practice times, and who knows, JDG will take it even further. He's excited as well. Well, we only have 3 matches remaining. What is the final ranking on the leaderboard that JDG is rooting for? 이제 3매치밖에 안 남았습니다. JDG 어디까지 올라가길 노려보는지 한번 들어볼 수 있을까요?
还在有3把比赛，整个这个 PMI 赛事就要结束了。你们的那个最终目标排第几名？
尽量往前5打吧，然后多调整，然后去适应明年的比赛。
일단 이제 얼마 많이 안 남았지만 지금 최선을 다해서 일단 최종 상위권 안으로 진입하는 것을 목표로 하고 있다고 합니다.
I mean, it's not a lot left, but they're trying to get it as farther up as they can. All right, thank you, December and Cold One Night. 加油 Say bye. 再见.
Well, thank you very much, Bella. Thank you very much to JDG as well, who was looking for the catch-up. And, of course, Cole 119 and the boys have been looking fantastic. But it is difficult to catch up to those top titans. As I go back to what I was asking Toffees before, man, because your banana's back, you're back, we're good to go. And we have got ourselves the position where T1 and DM Freaks is running away with this at the moment.
They are. I do want to say I love the JDG answers. They were long and meandering, just like their in-game rotations. And I do think T1's dominating this overall event. But what is really cool to me about this event in general, James, is when we started today, we made this comment about the daily winner makes teams like Petrichor, who only had 22 points coming in today, dead last, still play as if there's something to go after. And here they are, after 2 games, leading the day. So there is a world where you come in 22nd with no hope of getting paid, which we know that's the hardest part of being a pro, or at least I think it might be, Michael, when you spend all this time getting to an event and don't go home with really any cash to show for it. Petrichor shows up, is in pole for $5,000 plus kill cash. Like, that fires me up that everyone still has a chance to make money.
It's a good point, actually, Michael. What's it like to walk away from, like, I don't know, say a tournament like PGC, for example? Why are you pulling that face?
I'm just gonna do him that way. God, I love you, James. I'm sorry, Michael. God. Get you some burn oil.
Yeah, he's in the bin after 2 tournaments. What happens?
Welcome to the desk, Michael.
I made 5 money over 3 tournaments.
5 money.
5 money.
Sick.
5 whole money.
Love that. Love that.
Wait, actually $5?
Just like that.
No.
And I had to spend it on getting some noodles.
Hey, they do good
per
noodles
diem
over there in Bangkok.
Really good noodles.
Their daily per diem is what's keeping them alive right now.
Poor Michael. We put him into flashback mode over here.
Suddenly the screen turned black and white. But anyway, we are currently in the final day of the PUBG Players Masters Invitational with 3 games remaining. And Matrin, I mean, if Twisted Minds is going to start catching up, it's got to be soon. It's got to be now. And now we also know the next map that's coming up.
Yeah, and this is going to be, like, they have to have just a banger game. They've got to get everything aligned, especially making it in the later stages of that. But it was so hard to get the kills at that point, right? Because all the fighting was on the hillsides.
Definitely it was, as we look across good old Twisted Minds themselves. Michael, how do you think the Molodoct fill-in has been so far?
I think, although Molodoct MVP'd one of the PGSs, yeah, don't know, Perfectus is so good as well, so just missing him is like, he kind of gets looked past on Twisted Mind because of the other superstar players they have, but there's so many tournaments, he just top frags, and they just have so much. I think that team's just built on years and years of reps, and I think it's sucking for them a little bit, and then it does also suck that they come against DNF, who seem to have popped their ultimate ability, and they're shooting way differently than everyone else in the lobby right now.
Listen, they're here without a leg. They had a leg sliced off, and sure, they got a really nice peg leg made out of the finest wood, but you're not going to have the same dexterity. You're not going to have the same skill. You're going to have to play like a bunch of pirates, and that's what they're doing right now, taking fights when they come up, doing a little bit of stealing here and there, but also having to hunker down, right? Their Tartuga was the apartment complex, and they just sort of held their position there and hoped that the troops would leave them alone.
Yeah, and they were sailing in on those pirate ships from Milta Power. That is not the normal Twisted Minds Erangel. So definitely difficult, but let's check in with good old Paper Thin, who's down on the stage.
With a big win on Erangel, they choose Miramar next, and our 2 top teams are neck and neck. 4 points separate them right now. Who is going to take this next game? We don't know yet, but we got the Dusty Dunes coming up. Let's get that plane up in the air. It's time for Miramar.
Okay, this is Miramar.
Thanks so much, Paper, and off we go. Plane path is going to be down middle south and ending just a bit west of middle. Miramar, a map that can give you so much if you can get it. You guys had talked about Twisted. This is their opportunity, man. Miramar, foot pushes, high kill counts. There is an opportunity, but I'm still so impressed that they're here, given the fact that they even had to play with Tab one of the days. They had 2 different peg leg stoffies that they were having to play with, and still trying to get those top spots.
They're just dancing across that desert, but the desert is tough for them. There are a lot of holes, and anyone who's rocking a peg knows you don't want to step in there. You don't want to get knocked down, and this is traditionally, actually, percentage-wise, their worst map currently. So this is a tough call for Twisted Minds to make that catch-up, and it kind of makes you wonder, does that play into the selection process? Does Petrichor go, hey, we would like them not to get points. Let's pick a bad map for them as they head into this one. We're looking at I26V6, the newest member for Petrichor, as obviously we don't have Ike's left here again. Will we ever see him return? Who knows? Next year's a new year, but I hope to see him come back. I miss Ike's left.
I mean, he is kind of the heart and soul of Petrichor Road in so many different ways, and they're trying to do modifications. Of course, the JDG T1 Hot Drop and Shumasera going to be something that's going to be continued. No point in relenting, but this could spell some problems. Just 4-point differential right now for T1. If they go down here, it could be massive, but T1 has been so dominant on this drop. I just couldn't imagine it going that way.
Absolutely. Again, though, I do like that they picked this. It's one of those maps where you know that your leader is going to have to go into a hot drop right out of the gate, and you challenge them. He goes down, punched to death. He got the Uzi, but could not load it in time.
Sold. Oh, shit. Oh. I need that.
Cold 119 with the double barrel. Pop, pop. He goes, and that's 2 down as JDG is dominating right now.
Already.
Just type the last one up, and of all the times for JDG to show up, now could just absolutely spoil the tournament. 4 players still up for JDG. Type all by himself. They know exactly where he is. The push coming out. Shots connected. Cold goes down, and it's Type on a just full salvage mission right now. He jumps out. Nowhere to really go. He is going to go down. That's all she wrote.
Type got 1. I was hoping he'd get 2 at the very least, but it's not going to happen. JDG going to go ahead and get all their reses and comes away with a big win. T1 has been doing great on this drop match room, but it was not to be. The punch out, the aggression of JDG to say we're not even going to go for guns. Our goal is to get that first knock with just fisticuffs was bold and beautiful.
I mean, if you can't win Shumasera, 9 times out of 10 at this point,
easy.
To stab at the enemy that you've been dealing with and potentially screw them out of first place is a victory in a hot drop that kind of rallies everything that has been going wrong. The Freaks, massive opportunity right now. 4 points is all they need to surpass T1. Twisted, if they can have a big game, they can be right back in the competition with T1 as well.
That's true. We only have 3 games left to play. The winner takes home $50,000 and the bragging rights of being the first TPP international champions of a new era. In the same way that Full Sense will always get to say, we were the FPP champions, right? We finished out an era. Whoever wins this gets to stay. We started it.
Looking at the circle, it's going to be kind of around that Monte Nuevo point for the center. That means El Pozo with FW, Begapal already in good points. Petrichor Road kind of caught up with the Expendables on the outskirts of Chumacera. Gen G going to be rotating right back behind this. Delwyn trying to see if he can steal at least a couple of points. Still sitting in that 11th place position, but not going to find it yet. Here comes new targets, though. Maybe it'll work better this time.
Maybe he'll be Delwyn and not Del Whiff this time around. Come on, man. There we go. There we go. He got it. Chewy from the back, though. Yikes.
Just going to hunt that one down, see if they can get the res. Ming Ming does go down. It is going to be Calorius that takes him away. A lot of potential for some edge fighting on this one as anyone's a legend. Fury is going to have to regroup. 4 Angry Men, the Freaks, Na'Vi, Genji, and Irina all need to get in the circle still.
That was nice, though. Petrichor did rush over there, and while he was flushed, I believe he was able to snap up that blue chip very, very quickly. This early in the game, that means that they'll be back up to full strength, hopefully, as they continue to pursue their daily dominance. Because remember, though Petrichor is in 15th, right now they're in first overall for the day, which is a $5,000 prize if they can hold that position.
I mean, take the money that is presented to you. Gen G is going to get a bit ahead of the Expendables. They're playing more in the southern area right now. JDG is going to be pretty close to them. Petrichor Road has pretty much any pathing options until they get in next to Begapub that they can want to go for. Twisted Minds, though, the looming threat on the hillside. They are going to be playing more into the west. They've got an open path down. Very curious to see where Twisted opts into going here, as Glories is going to get all the information he needs on Orca. Shots on the other side of it, and that's going to be an easy flush.
That was great by Cloris. He did the shooting. Tanvu sort of helped with the off angle. Neither of them was overly aggressive. They get themselves a nice little flush there. This is a big game for Twisted Minds, who's in the middle in that third place position. They could take over the lead. But also for Falcons, they have to really honestly win this game in order to be in that race for our final two. It's 77 points. However, they have a decent spot towards the middle. They should get the final shift, or the next shift at least, and put them in a head-to-head with Twisted Minds. So keep an eye on that one. And then 17, who's in fourth place right now, doing a little leapfrogging rotations, but also in a decent spot if they can take this next compound without getting picked off.
A lot of our squads playing along the more field lines right now. They're going to be kind of the west of Picado in that area, or more coming out of Pozo itself. The hillsides just to the southeast of Pozo are extremely strong in the circle and pretty much centered as well. So if anybody can actually get to that point, but it is so hard gate kept out. It feels like 17 might have a path that they're trying to go for, but Begapa is playing the lower side of that hill and trying to shoo 17 away from it. Are they going to just go for the hillsides? It looks like that might be their stop-off, but I don't know. It's just too dangerous, and what is going on with Furia all stacked up right on top of 4 Angry Men? A Tongmu down, but here comes the chase from Shin. He gets the shots on Kalazine. It's just full-on jousting over here to try to keep yourself alive.
Furia has been an adventure in this event so far. I never know what to expect from them as they go head-to-head with 4 Angry Men. I don't think they're going to be happy with that exchange. Kalazine left behind, and I do believe that this should just result in them leaving. They got to the circle. They'll move to a placement position. Oh, wait a minute. They're stopping at the rock. Maybe they are not just going to give up.
I mean, they've got good covered point to play from. They've got themselves in a good spot right next to the circle, so they can control this for quite a while longer. It's just a matter of how much of a commitment do they want. But shots from DL shoo them away, and that might just be enough to make them say, not worth.
Yeah, that's a good one. I think they also were sort of scouting to see if they thought they were going to take the blue chip. A was in. Like, was it worth to go down there and try to get it back?
Wait, are they going for compound or are they going for Shin? I couldn't tell.
Whoa, man, amazing car. When did you become a millionaire?
What is this for?
We're trying to get advice for the younger generation.
I made my first million last year, actually.
What line of work are you?
Because they were kind of going more aggressive on the northern side of that compound around it. And you can see 4 Angry Men in some trouble, still under duress from the Freaks.
That's the problem with the Freaks. Everyone is always under duress from the Freaks. Every time we come to this, it seems like our observer's like, wait, we got to pop over there because the Freaks are messing with somebody again. At 113 points, it's not shocking. They're in a really good spot to catch here for T1. And I think it is actually kind of cool that the last time we crowned a TPP champion, it was a Korean team. And the first time we're going to do it in the new era, it's starting to feel a lot like it's going to be a Korean team.
Oh, Na'Vi running right through Twisted. They want this hillside. Batu's up on it right now. Full-on Mountain Goat coming in effect. Doesn't get the shots that he wants on it. A lot of damage coming out from Na'Vi. Petulance just has to surrender the angle. Other players for Twisted playing the hillside, trying to keep some cover onto him. Jacob at range. Example's got to put in work, but Petulance does go down, but it's going to be from Kickstart. This is the potential for Twisted, and Batu already down and out.
That was a great job of the Falcons getting involved with the one. They knew that the fight was started with Na'Vi. They were in a good overlook position, and they're using this to force Twisted Minds to have to go forward into Na'Vi and make them basically do the dirty work for them. So there's a stronghold here. Lewin example, having to make it happen. Hakatori being very, very aggressive, and Molodok on this off angle for the anchor. I really like that.
I mean, if anything, Batu can now just kind of micromanage the other players, feed them information, but Na'Vi just came into this with authority. You said the fact that, well, everybody's been saying the fact that these guys want to play for kills and they want to stack them up, but it's been kind of a slow start. This is a good position to play from. They're going to have a lot of vision, and Twisted's going to have to be playing from the back foot from here on out, and I think, yeah, they're just going to surrender the point entirely, cut up to the north.
I think that's smart. Move away. Work those losses. Moldoc let them know that Na'Vi was falling back off of their initial push, but it's too dangerous of a location. Meanwhile, DL goes after Soul. Anyone's Legend has yet another Panzerfaust. And while Soul does get Salute, Heaven will trade that out. So they should be able to get him in the car and possibly get out of here.
don't even care about going for the flush. They sense that Himmas is coming after him. Well, no, never mind. They do want to go for the flush, but it's been a bit of a problem. They are at least going to get him, and are they picking up the blue chip?
He stayed too long, DL. He wanted to get the blue chip so that they couldn't res him. Moves as soon as the grenade hits the ground, and I believe he gets out of this one. That was very proactive by DL, but absolutely ludicrous, risky.
I mean, yeah, a little bit of, I guess, slander onto Seoul there, being like, no, we're going to take you with us. You're a Korean player. You stay with us.
This guy crazy. I love that he did it. I love that he went for it. This is a player who has actually been a standout for the team, not always talked about, you know, and everyone in Freaks feels like they live in the shadow of Salute. But I really feel like over the last 6 months or so, players like DL have become incredible to watch. Always good players, but now real linchpins on the team.
Yeah, DL and Guman have had like this growth period here where it has just been absolutely dominant. Pozo, the center point for this circle, and now it's about time. DUI going for Pozo. Do you think that maybe there's a chance for an urban ending as we've got a lot of rotators? Most notably, it's going to be the Expendables, JDG on the outside, Navi from the position we saw just a second ago, Falcons just to the north of them, Twisted trying to get in the circle. Up to the northeast, we still also have Furia and 4 Angry Men stacked on top of each other, but looks like Furia's got eyes on the circle and just wants to get there as fast as possible.
Okay,
as he starts his rotation, Twisted Minds has arrived. They do a little bit of a juke on the rock, just pretending it was a crash. Throw off any campers. Twisted Minds with the next level plays. As they do crawl in, now you got Freaks. Here's the cars coming, so they're going to collapse, but Twisted Minds back into something they're most comfortable in, a multi-level apartment.
This is a bit scary. Begapa making the committed in push right next to where FW's already defended up. The shots don't really connect at the start, but there's the follow-ups. Everything comes apart really fast for Begapa. On the outside, it's just Pio by himself, but it is Pio. We know that he knows how to play by himself pretty efficiently.
Yeah, that was a trap start to finish by FW. They had guys stationed on the second floor. They knew someone was going to drive in out of desperation. That's what happens when the circle centered on Pozo, and they maximized 3 kills out of that. Pio does back off, but Pio's not one to leave a fight. He's like, you hurt my team, now I must wait.
Yeah, see if anything spicy happens around him. He has been spotted, though. He's just got to drop down to his belly, but FW can't really surrender this. Up on top, Little Ghost, though, is going to say, hey, thanks for the information and thanks for the free kill. I'll take that perfectly fine. Looks like Delwyn is going to be coming back in from this one, and the Expendables have a path over into the west, maybe eyeing around where E-Arena and could regroup with him.
Little Ghost was literally like, hey, guys, I just found a $100 bill on the ground. Cool. And
quite literally. Very true
exactly.
On that one. And now we've got Falcons looking from high ground. I mean, if Batu's not here to do it, that means the Falcons can do it, right? We've got a little bit of a situation as it is going to be Gen G right in between on the Falcons.
If they have a guy scouting, we're fucking nuke.
I think told them
from the west,
bro. They're team already. I'm not one.
Pushing.
You guys need to push?
We have got to the point where literally anybody can build a fully working app without knowing how to code. This is base.
Is he above?
Yeah, you got
on orange, yes.
He was on blue, he gave ground from there. He's deep. You guys can take ground. They're gonna leave.
They shouldn't have all been able to leave. There should still be a guy here, no?
I don't know how many pulled in. I need 2 cars.
Looks good. Okay. Good job, Tig.
Nice. Fuck, I failed. No, I could have got 2.
Good job, Tig. I like that. Good, clean comms. They left it to H-Win. You see Kickstart doing some off calls, and then the rest of the way is just making sure that we're not just going to loot and hold. Can we verify that there are no players left up here? Really clean, effective push there by the Falcons.
I mean, Toasty managed to sneak that one away. You heard the Falcons say that there should be another one up here, and they just didn't really know where he got out to, so well done on him. That's going to be a regroup on the hillside. To the north, we still have Furia trying to hold down the compounds. It's going to be 4 Angry Men all around. Good encroachment, kind of half circle around that point. Gen G also did call an emergency pickup for the circle, depending on how it pops. Pozo, of course, going to be the center point that most of our teams are going to be playing from. Navi, whoa, big northern shift. Is this going to go crater fields and keep in most of Pozo? So big wrap from our squads from the south.
The Falcons literally heard the heavens open and like a hymn start to play with that shift because it gives them an actual functional location to get into on the north side. Before that, they were just looking at Pozo going, where do we even go?
I hadn't seen too many people go for the emergency pickup with these like open roofed warehouses. That's kind of a new little variation we've seen. Hadn't thought to do that one, but hey, it works, it works.
I hadn't thought to do it because I know that if we did it, Poro would like get smashed against the roof on the way out somehow.
Bro, you know. Somehow he does these things.
Time. I've never seen a man miss so many e-pickups in my life. Don't know what I'm talking about.
He somehow knows how to have the worst thing happen to him in every situation. I don't know if he's just unlucky or if it's just cursed.
I think it's just running to the pickup late. All right, let's check in with Furia. Our wild cards here. Kalazine being called back into the fray. Warehouses, cars, they should have plenty of things to hand to him to get him back up and running. The problem for me with Furia is this is a team that was killing it in TPP in the Americas region and is not doing so here. And it kind of stresses me out, Matt, because it makes me say, are we not ready for this transition? Is PAS going to be a disaster next year?
Well, that's what I was kind of thinking myself with the way Furia has been playing. It doesn't feel like the way I would expect Furia to be playing. Falcons now caught up with 4 Angry Men, making it a bit easier for Furia. This is a very wide split 2-2 for 4 Angry Men. Falcons don't necessarily know that. They just have to treat it as though that there's a ton of people around them for the time. Gonna get Nate to get some damage, but Jello doing a good job of staying alive. Finally gonna go down. H-Win's gonna connect, but it's gonna be shots coming up from Sololzi to take down H-Win.
Anyone's Legend is not winning, but they're there hurting people constantly. As Shen does ultimately steal that with the flush, Tingleton going to turn and drive away. This hilltop was just too hot, and they decided it's not where we want to stick around. So Kickstart going to get lost as well. And the Falcons, after a really good cleanup on Gen G, see a shift, they go for it, but 4 Angry Men beat them there.
This has gotten into a bit more of a dicey spot, is the Falcons are just getting shot from 3, maybe even 4 different squads right now. That's going to be Shrimsy going down, and there was a massive cost for the Falcons now, just down to a solo, at least in a decent spot in the circle is Tig.
Tingleton and the rest of the team thought they had gotten a blessing with that circle, but it turns out to be a curse, as now Tingleton just has to lock into a hole with his car and say, I guess I'm just waiting this one out, boys.
Eyes on other big movements as remember T1 down. Freak's going to still be in Pozo itself. Twisted's going to be playing inside of Pozo as well, very close to them. So if we need to see another shrink up to Crater Fields, that means Firefight's going to be down around Pozo. We still got JDG roaming around right next to the Expendables. Everything coming down to where's this circle going to go? The hillside's being very lit up right now as Gen G, Irina all on top of each other. We keep in some of Pozo, we keep in the hillside. So it is going to be a firm collapse in from all the squads in the west.
Things should kick off pretty aggressively here as our teams try to make their way, and it looks like Furia might be working an E-pickup, but I don't know where you drop if you take it. They don't have a lot of options. Maybe the edge of the crater just north of the field. There's no way they do. It's got to be a scout pickup, right? Like send one up to figure out where to go.
I would be afraid to go up that hillside because where those compounds are at, you know that there's already somebody up in the hills. You just saw that like Falcons just got ruined over there. An emergency pickup could let you leapfrog and try to get into Pozo, but that's not going to feel any better. They do let it pass, but I don't know what you do. Everything's going to be a bad situation. Petrichor Road right on the edge of the zone, trying to control and corral everybody else into other firefights. 17 going to be one of the squads that they are trying to keep control over and kind of forcing 17 more and more to the south as JDG still has to deal with the Expendables right on top of him. And anyone's Legend just going to get a whole bunch of friends real fast, and that's going to be Fury.
He's going to start to kick off in a second. We see Fury making that transition. I think we have Mark Powers with a quick update on Furia's plan going into this endgame.
Wow.
Furia, look, they had a lot of lessons to be learned from day 1 and day 2. But as I say, to them, it's all about keeping numbers up. No surprise they went for the recall. No surprise they got the reset now. Now they're going to get an aggressive stance in towards the south side of the zone.
Push.
They're trying to get that aggressive stance, and I get that that's the plan, but the problem is everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the face, and Furia has been getting punched in the face over and over and over. They're going to have to drive themselves to the hospital with this jaw. It's been shattered so badly.
Cold, big performer for JDG on top. Eyes on to the Expendables as Furia is just going to continue having woe after woe hit them. Maybe they can team up with Tingleton and become an unofficial green squad between the 3 of them. But JDG's got to continue to control this angle as efficiently as possible, try to force them more into Pozo, and that's going to open up sight lines for Petrichor Road. The Expendables, no real good options, and AZ lines in. Tanvu at least finds a building to stop at.
The Expendables once again crashing into wherever they gosh darn feel like and suffering a loss in doing so. But the problem is that scatters everyone. Lil Ghost tries to make a run to get away from them, and in doing so is exposed to Petrichor. That's what, honestly, the Expendables are just chaos goblins.
I mean, that's what gets them the points every single time, forcing everybody else to play around what they want to do. JDG in some trouble. Chewy's going to drop nades right on top of him. That's one. December 12th in some trouble as well. Bounce going to go. At least tries to use the car to get some distance away from it. But Petrichor Road, they've just got control over everything to the west. But now the Expendables getting involved, trying to shoo Chewy out of that point. He's in a bit of a problem. Tires being popped. Lots of issues coming his way. But the hillside should save him.
He's trying to get out of there, but it's a Han Solo. There's not a lot of places to go. He does go for the full reverse, somehow survives and gets to heal up as they absolutely chewy JDG apart. I don't know what JDG was thinking. They got dismantled by that push.
2v1 fight between Furia and Tiggleton. As it's all kind of come down to this to stay alive, the circle has gone back down to Pozo. That means that some of the hill is going to be in play where we're at right now, but it's going to be right on the edge. AL, E-Arena, all converging on this. Na'Vi still got the high ground. That's going to be pretty close to 4 angry men, but E-Arena is going to have to deal with Genji right on top of him, and Colt still alive from JDG. Petrichor Road also has to push in, at least into the hillside or Pozo. The Expendables going to be gatekeeping them.
All right, Big Tiggleton, sick apparently, also holding down the entire team right now as he's sticking to his rituals, trying to make sure that he can play this. JDG is now officially eliminated as Cold 119 goes down to the blue. This is it. Americas versus Americas. It doth seem to be like this so often.
Oh, yeah, and what sucks is that there's a decent chance that really Furia or Falcons might not get too many kills out of this. It's a matter of really what anyone's legend wants to do is we do have ourselves some team comms that we're going to listen in on.
And get it. I just don't know why he's not pushing you. It seemed like the far guy didn't even know you were there. Yeah, he did. No, he had no idea.
Furia, boys.
Oh, flash. Oh,
prepare to get hyped. Ragnarok.
Team's being quiet, giving him time to cook. It's what you want your team to give you very small pointers, let you make the play yourself. He does so. I think that was a emergency cover that he threw at them. And there he goes. But it's not even... Oh, yeah, it is Kalenstein. Nice play by Kalenstein, finally, to take that push.
The Expendables in some trouble. Petrichor Road in some trouble, as this is just going to be everybody running in over here. 17, not really getting too involved yet. Genji up on the high ground on the hillside, just trying to make their push into E-Arena, but that's being supervised by anyone's legend, so it's just dicey for everyone over here. That's going to be Genji eliminated, but now, E-Arena, you at least took them out. What do you do next? Because now you have to deal with everybody from AL on top of this hillside, and that's going to suck.
It is going to be horrible. Anyone's legend up here on this high ground. Wicked has been kind of a non-factor in this tournament so far. This time, though, he's got 3 kills. When he can go up on the high ground and play at his pace, he seems to put in a lot of work. Example, watching from a distance, he just jumps, man modes his way out of there, pops the parachute, and is going to be looking to join his teammates. I think he's going to get away with it.
It's kind of hard to hit this because, I mean, you get that little bit of sway that happens.
Oh, shit. Where it was. No, nothing here.
Though, has managed to find at least 1 kill over here with the way the circle's set. They're right along the edge of the zone. FW did kind of get into a point round below them, but ooh, man, that's a great circle for the Freaks as they just need 2 more points to overtake T1.
Maybe can take it, I guess.
Oh, nice shot, Hakatori. The man, the myth, the legend. It doesn't matter how his team is doing. Hakatori is always doing well as he pulls the grenade out, pushes forward on Kawazine, gets the spray to follow it up. Little help from Sosed, and off they go. Furia eliminated by EMEA. Himass out by the tree. Not a lot of cover. Half a smoke and a lot of prayer.
Yeah, there's not much that really can be used on this hillside until you deal with Na'Vi up here, and they are a consistent threat to every single one of these Remnant squads. They still even have Favorist Waver on the other side of it, denying out anything. Himas is going to surrender it over the blue. Now Na'Vi has a lot of control in the circle. Up on top, looking down into everything. The Expendables on the other side, eyes onto the Freaks, the other major control point in the circle.
Nice move around. This is that moment in the circle where everyone starts to try to feel each other out. It's going to slow down for just a second, and the moment that there is a crash and the third party opens, you're going to see that kill feed just start to spam as everybody makes their moves in to the spot. FW going to collapse on these warehouses. They're bringing the rest of the team in. Sixax still holding the anchor role. He'll close with the blue, and they'll be in a pretty good position going forward. Twisted Mind's not in the circle yet, in a tall order to get in as they try to scout. Molodok playing the point man almost exclusively for this team right now.
Yeah, the other players were trying to see if they could get any eyes on FW, who was taking over one of the compounds that are just down to the south of the circle. So, going to start being open vision for the high ground and Na'Vi. Not going to be the best of angle to approach from. Lou is at least going to get some information. It doesn't look like there's anybody danger close to them. But remember that Twisted, if they go for a path over here, they still have to cross a road, and that's why they've got the smokes down. This is going to eat a lot because there's just no cover to deny out any of these fortified positions. Molodok is going to go down, and it is going to be Guman, but this should be resable for now. But there's still another cross on this road that they have to deal with, and a lot of smokes are being burned.
Yeah, this is a very difficult situation for them. And on top of that, it's DNF that's holding them out, the team that's currently ahead of them on the boards, in a position to pass T1 to take over first place in this event with only 2 games left to play. DNF, pole position in middle, hard cover, 2 fields to watch, easily some extra kills on the board. DNF is... this is a throw if they don't win, I think.
Well, it's also a very big game potential for Na'Vi, as most of these squads are going to have to walk into open corridors that Na'Vi has control over everything from. They get to see...
Albion Online is a sandbox MMORPG in which you write your own story.
Every movement, they get to have an idea on who's going to be going after who. And you can see they're kind of trying to force TE and going for this res to maybe go a bit closer to the Freaks. Trying to force Twisted in that line closer to FW. Forcing FW closer to the Freaks. If they can get enough of these teams to stack on top of each other and do the damage, they can run down from this high ground right on top of 4 angry men who's just kind of hiding in the shade of all the bullets above them and just steal away this game. But I do agree that you are correct. Right now, Freaks have the highest control point that they could play from and the safest area that they could play from.
Beautiful as Twisted Minds tries to cross the street. We don't have the comms because it's not in English, but I guarantee it's frantic at the moment as they try to figure out what options do we even have. And the only option is a Guman grenade up over the top, and that ends Twisted Minds' run.
Exactly. Perfect timing. Na'Vi now knows, okay, we've got this new position that we can shift forward to. We've got the rock. We've got the control. Just still keep it going. Really, it's a matter of, do they want to allow FW to go after the Freaks, or do they want the kills themselves? This is a squad that needs a big climb. You can see that they have managed to at least touch up next to Furia, but that is a 7-point gap, and then another 6-point gap to try to catch up the Expendables, and the Expendables just refuse to die over there on the edge. No matter how many times Na'Vi takes the shots at them, if they get a knock, somehow TE finds a way to continue going, but it feels like it's just about done. There's no way to get out of this one, backing right up into the sideline.
I don't know what the options are. The Expendables are eliminated. They've been Chaos Goblins in this match. They finally go down. DNF looking to set in stone that this is potentially their tournament. Up to 123 points with a good chance to get even more, though. Rise makes the move on Salute, countered by Heaven.
Navi's making their move right on top of 4 angry men as well. FW down to just 2 players, but Canaxi is popping off. Big way for this lobby right now. Sixax, last one up. Guman on the other side. Peeks along the doorways, closing the door just to buy some more time. Shotgun does not get the knock. Guman tries to go for the stall with some stuns. Peeks it back around.
He did it.
Does connect. The Freaks stay alive.
F your shotgun, he says. And he gets them down. Freaks making plays as they go to a 10-kill streak. Meanwhile, in the off, it's Na'Vi against 4 angry men. They're making the most of the ability to fight here while Freaks were distracted. Hakatori trying to come down this hill, but 4AM holding the low ground very, very aggressively. It's not going to last long, though, as DNS still has 2, and it's in their best interest to turn around and try to backstab this fight.
They've got to get the reses. They've got to get their meds back up. There's a little bit of time that Na'Vi still has to try to close this out. The Doritos right up on top of Longs, playing along the smoke. Longs going for a peek out, but it's read by Hakatori. So up on the high ground, it is going to be Na'Vi, 61 points, and Freaks presently in first place with 2 players having to walk into a very fortified circle from Na'Vi.
Na'Vi in a great position where I thought Freaks had this. That loss of 2 to FW means they've got to push the dot. Hakatori from the high ground getting tagged up as DL does a great job of covering this, but essentially it's now a 3v1 and a 3v1.
This is going to be really peculiar. If a crossfire angle is set up by Guman, maybe takes down Sosa. That could open up DL on the other side to try to get something. But the way the defensive positioning is set up from Na'Vi is so clean. Everything hinges on Human. Can he get this nade to connect onto somebody? But Na'Vi already knows. He's already playing around these positions. It's just got to be careful. Nade does come down, get some damage. Doesn't get the knock. Human still playing this a bit wild. Nade connects, but doesn't get the knock again. Lots of damage, but it's still not enough.
Human making plays. Kylaris is going to be ecstatic. He captained him after the recommendation from Paper Thin yesterday, and he is paying dividends with 6 kills on this match so far. It would be a tall order to win this one, but if they do, I dare say it could be borderline legendary. Taking Na'Vi out of a defensible position in a 1-1 split would be wild.
DL's got no options, just trying to use the vehicle for some type of cover to see if he can get in. Sosa takes a lot of damage. Human does get the knock down into a 2v2. DL trying to get some more support set up for his teammate. Human on this hillside, starting to become a bit more unlocked. DL just runs through, being a distraction. Shots not really connecting, and somehow getting into the circle.
It's gone to the 2v2. That is absolutely wild. Human gets another $100 in the hopper. Ferris going to lump up against Hakatori, and the two of them playing side by side. DL, not a lot of cover down there. He's got the car. He's got the smokes. He's going to make a send. Human's going to have to cover it.
How does he keep getting into this new point? These guys are just playing off of each other perfectly, using distractions between the two of them. Hakatori one side of this, Human on the other. You can see DL just trying to get some way, some angle in on this circle to provide some support, but it's so hard. There's a dip that Na'Vi is playing from right now, and so much of the utility was burned by Human beforehand. DL in this low ground position at least gets to the rock, and it is just back and forth. And Na'Vi cannot find a way to take down the Freaks, even though they've gotten so close so many times.
Na'Vi just has to wait. DL's got his back to the blue. He's going to have to move first. He has 0 cover. Both of the guys from Na'Vi going to go ahead and stack full boost. They're in a really good position. That said, I think I saw an on there. So if there's a chance for an opening knock from Human, that could allow DL to move forward here as they try to knock. He's moving to a spot. He knows they're going to peek him when he pushes. This is really good.
The smokes coming out from Human to provide cover for DL lines up perfectly. There's still shots just wild into the smokes that are connecting onto DL, but again, the longer that DL stays alive over here, it opens up an opportunity. Na'Vi playing from the back foot right now, has to be careful. The blue zone encroaching onto both of them. Human starting his push forward. It's got to be some big play from Hakatori on the other side of it. Hakatori takes down Human. There's the follow-up. The blue zone being the one that forces it all, and Na'Vi gets their big game.
Na'Vi does. Hakatori played very, very well, but honestly, I got to give laurels to DNF. Getting out of that warehouse at all was shocking, and then being able to walk away with 2 additional points for it was really impressive from downhill, from not being as close to the dot. That was huge by the Freaks.
This is an absolutely crazy game. Na'Vi, what do you want? You get to set pacings in. Let's go ahead and bring in Kylaris. Give us some insights moving into this next game. Kylaris, where do you think that Na'Vi is going to go?
Oh, it's a tough one for me. I think maybe it's back to Miramar again. What do you think, Michael?
I think they shouldn't pick Tego. Oh.
How hard he is when he's like, yeah. Yeah. Grassy pastures, BR.
Back to Erangel we go here for Na'Vi. Good win from them. I don't think they're going to be challenging for that number 1 spot here, but it's still a strong win from that high ground. As Michael, what did you make of Na'Vi being able to take this one against DM Freaks?
Yeah, I noticed that at the very end it was star player versus star player, IGL versus IGL, Ferris, Hakatori, Human, DL, and it was yeah, I feel like most of these wins in third person usually come from.
That's it. So, little changes to the stream, but because I never get why PC games like PUBG PC always making maintenance too much. So this time we decided to change a bit format, but just for this stream, I guess.